Yeah, what is it? Hello! Yeah, what's going on? Yes, I'm a communist with a capital C.
Well,
Why not?
because there's no freedom of speech, there's no due process, and it's just all police state.
For example?
China.
Yeah, give examples.
If you say anything against the government, you will go to jail.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
That's actually not true.
I have family members in jail, actually,
And
for that.
what did they say? To go to jail.
I can give you a few names, but not all of them.
Don't give me names. Don't give names. Don't give names.
Okay, one of them is an artist. All he did was make art, and he went to jail for it.
What art did he make?
You want to search him up? He's pretty
No, I
famous.
don't. I'm just asking you like
He's
what was
not a
the
family member, so it's
I'm
all
just
good, dude.
asking you what was the context?
He made satire against the communist government.
Okay, so he was disrespecting the government.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it's okay to disrespect the government and not be jailed for it.
Well, China disagrees. If you disrespect
Yeah,
the leaders of
and
the
which I
country,
disagree. That's why I don't like it.
well, that's just Chinese society. That's always been the case in China. You can never disrespect the emperor. You can't disrespect the leaders. Yeah, that's true for a lot of Asian countries.
Yeah, I understand that, but it
Because
doesn't make it okay.
it's well, that's China, dude. That's the context of that society. It means something different in that society. You know, in those societies, people don't just run their mouth for no reason. When you say something in public, it has to have meaning. It has to be for a reason, right? And
I mean, that doesn't need
we,
to
we
be the
don't we don't
case,
we
but
don't
it
have
is the
any we don't
case.
really have free speech here either, though. There's a lot of things you say
We
that's
do
gonna.
have the freest speech in any country in Earth
That's
right
not
now, in
true.
the
That's not
United
true.
States, yes.
That's not true. We
Which
all
country has more free speech than the United States of America?
Sweden.
Why? Why do they have more speech than the US?
Because Sweden, for example, doesn't, and this is true for many other European countries, they don't really have big religious sensibilities or conservative cultural sensibilities. So people just say things that don't lead to any public outrage or any problems or whatever, and they're free to do
I
that.
mean,
And by the
free
way, I'm a
speech is
conservative.
fine.
I don't actually believe people should be able to just. Well, legally, it's a different thing, right? But every society has limits to the amount of speech that it allows. Some societies punish it legally, other societies punish it socially, but there's no such thing as a society that has so-called absolute freedom of speech.
I mean, it's fine to be punished socially, but legally, for going to jail for it, I don't think that's
Well,
okay.
what about cases of whistleblowers like Julian Assange?
Well, I say free him, so
You want him to be freed?
yeah.
But you see that the US also has red lines as far as
Because yeah, that
the
it's
amount
because
of
it's
speech
the
that it
deep state,
tolerates.
it's the government. I'm more of a limited government type of guy.
Yeah, I am
So
too. I am too because I'm an American and I live in America. But you can't go and
yeah,
impose. You can't go and impose that on other
wait. So
countries.
you're an American, you like limited government, but then you're also trying to be a communist, which is
Yeah,
the opposite of limited
that's
government.
not true. That's not true at all.
China's socialism is government everything, dude.
No,
Government in terms of economic
no,
policy,
no.
government in terms of social
Communism is
policy.
about making the government serve the people and work for the people.
That's what every fucking political party says, dude.
No, well, it's not true though.
I could say the same for any party, dude, that I disagree with. That's you can say that for anything.
You know what communism means?
You want to give me a better definition?
No, the word, like where it comes from, communism. Like, what does that mean?
Not really. No,
So
I
the
don't know
what's
where it came
the
from.
common in communism is the common good. That's what it means.
Okay, I guess it's not happening.
Where it's not happening in China, where they've lifted more people out of
It doesn't
poverty.
mean if the name communism came from the common good, it means it's a good
Yeah, but I'm
thing.
telling you, that's why we say communism means the government works for the people. It works to develop the forces of production to uplift the people,
Wait,
uplift their living standards, uplift their level of acculturation so they have more access to culture, and they're just more.
okay, I agree with you on the culture like aspect, but in terms of economics, when the government owns the means of production, it's the politicians who have the money, not the people.
Is that true in China?
Yes, I'm from China.
So in China, only the politicians have money.
Well, all the billionaires are basically politicians when they become billionaires.
They're not. They're not
Join the
politicians. They
CCP.
become. They become controlled by the party. They're not
Yes,
politicians.
yes.
Well, that's good
Finish
though,
it.
because here the billionaires control our politicians, and in China, the government controls the billionaires. So which one would you rather have?
I'd rather have the American version.
Where our
I'd rather have
governments
the government not getting in my way
to do what?
to do anything, dude. I
Like
don't want the
give an
government telling me
example.
what to
What
do.
are some things that as an American you have the liberty to do that you can't do in China?
There's free speech. There's no due process. You can
Wait,
go
hold
to the
on, hold
court. You
on.
can get jailed in
So
China for no
but hold on.
reason,
I thought we
and
were
they can
talking
just
about
put you in jail.
economics. I thought we were talking about
There,
economics.
there's many. There's a lot more to just economics, dude.
Okay, so we're not talking about economics anymore. So okay, free
Okay,
speech.
we can
What
go
do
with
you want?
everything,
Okay, here's my
anything.
question to you. What do you want to say in China that you're not allowed to?
Fuck Xi Jinping.
Why?
If I'm a
But hold
Chinese
on.
citizen, I
Okay, hold
filmed
on.
that. I
But
posted on their
okay, hold on,
YouTube.
hold on.
I would go to
Let me roll
jail.
it back. Let me roll it back. Given what Xi Jinping represents in China and what he means for the Chinese people in China, the question then stands: why are you saying that?
I believe that all politicians believe in a greater good. Even though I disagree with some,
No, no, I'm
even in the
asking you
United States,
why do you
they're
want
all
to
trying to
say
do good.
fuck Xi? Why do you want to disrespect China's leader? Why?
He's more of a dictator,
Okay,
so I don't believe in
what's your
dictators
issue with
too.
him? Why do you want to say fuck Xi?
I mean, I have an issue with the CCP.
Okay, but
I just don't believe in their policies.
here's the issue. So I'm gonna show you why it's paradoxical to me. You said the only real consistent reason you gave that you don't like their policies is that they don't give you the free speech, and you said you want the free speech to say fuck them. So now I'm asking you,
And I
why
don't
are you?
believe in social. I don't believe in socialism too.
What does that mean practically in
I
China?
mean, China is not a socialist economy. Just saying, they're still really
Wait, if
capitalistic.
China's not socialist, then why do you hate the CCP? If the reason for hating them is that you hate
China
socialism.
is an coming country. They have admitted that they need capitalism
Okay, but
as
then
the first
okay,
step
hold on. I
for
disagree with you,
socialism.
but I'm asking you for your reasons why you hate the Communist Party. And the reason you gave
I
was
mean, I think free
because
speech is my number one.
okay,
My number
then
one.
let me explain to you why it's a paradox then, okay? Because if
Okay,
free speech is pretty much your only issue with it,
it's
it
not the
can't.
only. It's the biggest. That
But okay, it's
everybody has.
let's just say it's the biggest to save
Okay,
time. If free speech is your biggest issue with them, and I ask you, what do you want the free speech to say? And you say, I want to be able to say fuck the CCP. And then I ask you,
I mean,
why do you want to say
it's not
fuck the
just that.
CCP?
I
And then you
think
say it's
anybody can
because
say
the
what they want
CCP doesn't let me say fuck CCP. But why do you want to say that?
because it's called a fundamental freedom that you
But
have,
why?
and
Freedom to
like
do what? What's the
freedom to
reason?
do anything. It's up to anybody, not
Don't you
just
think
me.
freedoms should be rational? Why?
Freedom is rational.
But
Not actually,
you're
it's
not
not
giving
always
me
rational.
you're not giving me a reason why you want to say and disrespect China's leader in China. Why,
Disrespecting China's leader is an example
but to what
of
ends? What
what
is
you
the
can't
ends of
say.
that? What goal do you want to fulfill by doing that? Is there a reason you're saying it, or you just want to do it for its own sake?
I think free speech is good for innovation. It's good for the
Okay,
economy. It's good for uplifting
hold
others.
on.
It makes
We
people
can.
better.
I don't think there's any examples of speech that contribute to innovation that China clamps down on. When you say fuck the leader of this
China doesn't
country,
have any
hold on. In
innovation. They
China,
just
when
copy
you
the
are
U.S.
saying, listen, in China, when you are saying fuck Xi, you're challenging the government and that assumes you have yourself something better in mind, right? So what do you want in China that
Well,
makes you
I'm not a
say?
politician, so
So why do you just want to be able to say fuck Xi for the same reason that people
I
want to
mean, fuck
draw?
she is one of the examples.
So
You're
is
trying to
it
tunnel me
is it
into
basically
into
like
that
is it basically
statement.
like how South Park wants to be able to draw Muhammad, or how some people want to just say the N word and it's just for its own
Well, South
sake?
Park is banned in China, so
I'm glad. I'm glad. But why? So this is like people who just want to draw Muhammad for no reason, or just people who want to say the N word for no reason, right? You
yeah,
don't
I
have a
believe you can
reason,
draw whatever the fuck you want.
but
Why
you
not?
and you shouldn't have to have a reason for the things you do in public, right?
What was that? Sorry.
You shouldn't have to have a reason for the things you're doing in public, right? You should just do it for its own sake.
I mean, anybody has their own choice of saying whatever they want. It's their choice. I don't really care. Sometimes I can disagree with what they say, but it's their
Hold on,
choice, dude.
but
That's the whole
let
point of
me tell you
freedom.
something. In China, you do have the freedom to say what you want. You're just not free from the consequences of your actions. You disrespect the leader of a country, then the country's is going to punish you in some kind of way. That's how China works.
Yeah, which I don't agree with. So that's why I'm here.
I hold on. You don't agree with it for China or for America? Because for America, I don't agree with it either. But China's a different country, with
Well,
a
I'm a
different
Chinese
meaning.
citizen, so
You're
do
a
I not
Chinese
get a say?
citizen?
Yes.
Okay, so you're a Chinese citizen. Then why debate me about it? Why not take it up with the Chinese people who are the ones that allow the CCP to rule in the first place?
Because the Chinese Communist Party does not allow dissent. They don't allow anybody that thinks differently than
So
them.
do you have, but you just said you're not a politician, so you don't even have an alternative to the CCP to present to the Chinese people.
There is no alternative.
So if there's no alternative, then go. Who are you debating with then? You just want to complain at no one and piss in the wind. If there's no alternative,
I'm just trying to debate how communist is not a good system. I'm not trying to debate you
hold on.
that like I'm gonna cause a
But you
revolution
just
in
said
China,
China's
dude.
not socialist and not communist. That it's capitalist.
The economy is a market socialist economy. Yes,
Okay, so it's socialist.
it's a socialist market economy.
Okay, so if you're against socialism, wouldn't China be the worst example of saying socialism is a failure because it's the premier economic powerhouse of the world in 2021?
China and the United States are neither pure capitalistic nor pure socialistic.
I
So
agree, but
it's
you
a
just told
hybrid.
me China's socialist.
The in terms of policy, yes. See,
So
you're trying to
you
get
don't
back to
think China's
economics, dude.
do you think
Economics
China's
is one part,
so
but
do you think China's
but
socialist policies had anything to do with China's rise as the world's premier power?
socialist policies,
Yeah, do you think that maybe
not.
that those have been instrumental in China's rise?
I think there are many factors that cause economy to grow. It could be one of them, yes.
You think it's well, India's a capitalist country with a similar population size as China, and India
Hmm.
is light years behind where China is, right? So it seems like it's the instrumental reason for why China has grown to the status that it has.
Like I said, there are many factors in why economy may be greater in a country compared to another. Not just one. You're trying to say it's because of this one reason it's better. No.
I think I would insist that it is the main reason for China's success.
Okay, I don't agree with you.
What do you think the main reason is?
I think China just opened their economy sooner.
India's economy has been open for a very long time.
Not more than China.
Yes, it has. Actually, it has been open to
And
foreign
maybe
investment.
Indian culture is also different than Chinese culture. That may
So,
have a impact.
but Taiwan and other cultures that are similar to Chinese culture have been
Taiwanese
stagnating.
economy is great.
Taiwan does have a good economy, but it's been stagnating and slumping recently.
Yeah, because they're a fucking little island, dude.
Well, I don't know. Then what is it? It's like, what are you trying to say? The South Korea's stagnating. Japan's been stagnant. I know they're not the same culture, but they're East Asian
China's
cultures.
stagnating now too. You know what's
No,
happening
it's
with their
not.
markets right now?
China has been growing. It's not growing as much as it used to,
But yeah,
and
if you're in
but the
finance,
government is
you know
taking.
that Chinese market is stalling.
It's
Look at
not.
all their stock.
It's not
like
stalling.
Alibaba.
It's not stalling. It's just that there's a reform going on that's going to
Yes, there's a
actually,
restructuring.
yeah,
Yes.
the restructuring is going to reinvigorate the economy.
Yes, the restructuring is good for communism in China.
Yeah, it's going to greatly help the economy and
See,
empower.
the difference between like the other people that come on, I actually agree with you on some of these things because I do think you come from a place where like you understand how the Chinese system works, and not
Yeah,
from like a point in where people just like get on it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've studied the Chinese system, so I know a few things about it. But I just think America is a different country than China. We have a different
Yeah,
culture
yeah,
and a different history here, right? So
yeah.
here we don't have a really unifying civilization here. United States basically just means we're small independent farmers or plot holders, and we have a union together, right? Where we are going to, we're going to be taxed, and then the government's going to build us infrastructure, and we'll mainly keep to ourselves, and we pile in some of our resources to help the common good, a commonwealth, right? So with communism, it's different in depending on the country. So in China, they call it socialism with Chinese characteristics, right? And that's going to be very different than a socialism with American
But there's
characteristics.
more wealth inequality in China than in the United States, right?
Yeah. Well, inequality is not the number one concern of communism. The number one concern of communism is raising the people's livelihoods, standard of living, and developing the forces of production. So it's not,
You want everybody to be equal.
no, not necessarily, no. No, Marx and Engels wrote about even how in socialism, um, formal equality would mean inequality, right? Some people can work harder than others. Some people are more skilled than others. Some people have to raise kids. Some people are in different circumstances. So equality can actually mean inequality, right? In China, everyone's equal in the sense of they try to have equal opportunity. I know it's not the case in any country, but
I think most countries, in terms of first world country, has equal opportunity. We live in 2021, not fucking 1800s.
yeah, but the issue is that in Western countries, we have these monopolies that are gatekeeping economic wealth from ordinary citizens. So it's hard for an ordinary person in America to start a business, but it's
But
much.
everybody understands that monopolies are not good, even for a capitalist.
I know, but the thing with
Monopolies are not good at all.
I understand that, but the advantage of the Chinese system is that since the government is above everything, the government can constantly restructure the economy, clamp down on monopolies, and help start up businesses and middle ranking companies, which come
In the
from
US,
the
they
people.
clamp down on monopolies too. Everybody hates monopolies, okay? Even rich
We
people.
are in no position to clamp down on any monopoly right now. Our entire government is captured and controlled by these financial and now tech monopolies.
Well, in the US, it's usually the Democrats who are more anti-monopoly. And
In
we
words,
have the FTC, we have the FCC. They
well,
try to
the
do their best.
FCC has actually consolidated the monopolies by Comcast and AT&T and the rest of these and all the broadcasting and cable companies. So,
They're technically not monopolies.
well, we know they are. They are monopolies.
They're really big. Apple is $1 trillion company. Is Apple a monopoly?
Yeah,
I don't think you know what a monopoly means.
Apple Apple's IP laws definitely stifle competition for smaller. China didn't have any IP laws comparable to the ones that Apple has here in the US. So that for
China
that
doesn't have
reason,
IP laws because they don't have IP.
which is a beautiful thing. And I want that for America too. I don't want us to have IP. I want small business owners and up and coming startup
I
people.
mean, they do have IP, but just not as many as the
Well,
United
the
States
beauty
does.
of
So these
China
monopolies.
is you have street vendors in China and you have all these markets. It's a thriving real free market that you have in many cases. People are just selling Apple parts, they're creating their own iPhones and they're selling their own and people just it grows the wealth of everyone, right? Whereas IP laws which prevent people from being able to engage in the market and have opportunities.
Me and you can start up a company right now and compete with Apple. It's not that hard,
But
dude.
Apple's IP patent laws are going to get in our way in a way
Yeah,
that
just make
it's
another phone that doesn't look like the fucking iPhone then.
Why? The iPhone is
That's
a pretty.
capitalism.
The
It's
iPhone
supply
is
and
a.
demand.
No, I don't think so. I
People
think.
want the iPhone. They don't want another phone. It's supply and demand, dude.
Well,
It's
here's the
not
thing:
that
is that
hard.
iPhones are expensive, and China has many like knockoff iPhones that are more affordable to people.
Yeah, as an American, you don't need to buy an iPhone, right?
No,
You
I
can
know, but
buy there's
it's
$100, $200
yeah, I get
phones.
that, but it's about speaking as a businessman. To if I want to fill a niche of people who want to be able to have affordable, more affordable phones or something, I have a lot of IP laws and patent laws that are in my way. I'm not
IP
talking on
is unique
the
to the
consumer
company. It's
side.
not.
So from the consumer side, yeah, you can just buy shit from China. You can buy shit anywhere. But from the perspective of a person who wants to start a business, IP laws and patent laws do get in our way in ways that
I
they
mean,
don't
you
for
communists,
Chinese.
it just seems like it's so hard for you guys to become successful. I don't understand.
I
You
don't
guys are
think I don't think
against
that's
the
true.
system
I
because
think
like,
in I
no, we
think
can't get there. Like the rich people are fucking us. We can't create companies. We can't create small businesses. I can't turn my small business into a big business. Like, really?
well,
That's just a
yeah,
loser
that's
mentality.
not it's not just me. That's ordinary Americans in general. And here's the thing: is that in China,
Well, stay ordinary then. I
listen,
don't get it.
in China, people make great business. Start. It's much easier to start a business in China than in the
Yeah,
U.S.
there are more billionaires in China.
I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, I don't too.
Billionaires are not the number one concern. The number one concern is how wealth is being created, and the way wealth is created in the U.S. overwhelmingly benefits unproductive, financial, and monopoly rentier people, and not ordinary people. Now, if that byproduct of that is going to lead to some people being very, very rich, and having like yachts and mansions, I don't care. That doesn't really matter. What matters is if the people.
In the States, the companies are owned by the people. In China, the companies are owned by the government. Government is not the
So
people.
in the states,
You have to understand
the
this,
vast
dude. You
majority
have to
of
understand.
listen, the vast majority of shares that are owned by publicly traded companies are owned by a tiny minority of private capitalists. So it's just not the people who own the companies in the U.S. It's
No,
actually in China.
the company is a public company. It's owned by the people.
That doesn't mean it's owned by
100%
the people. That
equity.
means anyone can buy shares, right? That doesn't mean
Yeah,
it's owned by the people.
anybody,
But
anybody,
in China,
any
in
citizen.
China, you actually do have companies owned by the people, right? Because they have state-owned
It's
enterprises
mixed.
and they have
It's state
government-owned
owned and
enterprises.
private. Yes.
Yeah, and that's another word for being owned by the people. It's owned in the interests of the people.
The U.S. is 100% owned by the people. China is half half.
What does owned by the people mean to you?
In the U.S., there are private companies. You can't buy or sell them in the private
But
market.
that's not owned by the people. That's owned by a tiny, tiny minority that don't
Yeah,
work in the.
but they're not politicians, are they?
But they work only for their own interests and not in the interests of the people as a whole.
I mean, China, you can do that too. So there's
Right,
nothing to argue here.
but up to a certain limit, and where your interests as a private individual conflict with the interests of the whole, you're gonna have a barrier, right?
I think,
China's economy is ultimately about working for the people. It has to work for the
but I
people.
think you have to understand that in China, the government that owns everything just pays and pockets it to the politicians, not the people, dude.
That's corruption, and Xi has
Yes.
clamped down on corruption
And I
severely.
agree that there's a corruption anywhere in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, that's an issue of corruption, and Xi has
But you
tried
know what
to.
corruption means? When business is intertwined with politics. And that's literally communism and socialism, dude.
I agree that communist states had a corruption issue. So did China. But Xi has been making efforts, especially when he first
She's a
came.
billionaire, bro.
He's not a billionaire. There's no evidence of that.
Check out the Panama Papers
The Panama Papers show
or
no
the
indicate.
Pandora Papers.
Even if those papers, which have questionable roots, are to be believed, there's no indication that Xi is a billionaire whatsoever.
I know he's rich as fuck, dude.
No, it's doubtful. He
I
is.
know some of
Xi,
it. I personally know some of his family members.
listen,
Call me Cap, dude. Call me Cap.
Xi is a man who has devoted his whole life to serving the people. serving the Chinese people. Whether he was a politician as the mayor of forget which province,
You
but
can say the same for Bernie Sanders, bro.
it's not. It wouldn't be that off the mark. But the difference between Xi and Bernie is that Xi actually got stuff done, right?
I do agree that in a one-party state, you can enact policies way easier than if there are dissent
Yeah. Did you know that
or
the
multiple
founding
parties.
fathers of our country, the United States, did not intend for there to be multiple parties? They actually intended for there to be one party.
No,
Yeah,
why? Who said
because
that?
they viewed the division into parties as a form of factionalism that they thought would endanger the unity of the republic.
I mean, at least we have 4 terms, right?
That's
Four
very
terms.
recent that we've had 4 terms, and it's because of FDR. He was so popular as a politician that
I
after,
mean, 4-year terms. 4-year terms.
yeah, that's very recent. That's
We've
very
had
very
it
recent.
since the first president.
I don't listen. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's necessary that there has to be term limits in the first place? Now, really think about it.
No, okay. Sometimes it's good for a smart person to have multiple term limits, but in the name of fairness, not really.
No,
Because
I think
ultimate power corrupts, dude.
it's
Ultimate power
but
corrupts.
it's not a matter of ultimate power. It's a matter of when you become a leader, you accumulate a lot of experience and wisdom, and having to constantly have a change of leaders dilutes the ability for this wisdom to be carried over in the long term.
Yeah, it could create inefficiencies if there's a new party every 4 years. That could lead to inefficiencies. Yes,
A new
but
administration every four
that's why
years is,
America's good.
yeah. I mean, we don't really have
We
a
respect
functioning
different opinions.
we don't really have a functioning working government in America to begin with.
I think the government works fine in America.
Really? We it took so long to pass a very watered down milquetoast infrastructure bill. Um
Yeah, that's free of corruption
that's that's
because
not
you have
true.
senators, you
Hold
have
on.
congressmen that
Wait.
vote on the bill.
But
That's called
those
voting.
people are all
They
bought
don't have
out.
that in
Hold
China.
on, but all those people are bought out and in the pocket of the monopolists and the oligarchs and the rentier class, right? So I don't know how you can say that there's no corruption. Of course, it's completely
I mean,
corrupt.
yes, you can lobby in the United States. It's okay to donate money to
Well,
politicians.
let's call it what it actually means. It's not lobbying; it's corruption. We call it lobbying because we've made it legal, but we've made corruption legal, right? In any other country, that's what they would call corruption.
So how would a politician get a voice if they don't have money to advocate or advertise and run for president or whatever or senator?
There's multiple ways, but a more
Like
democratic
$100 in their
a more
pockets?
democratic way would be you could have a meritocratic system like in China where the party is going to allocate its funds and resources to politicians that prove their skill and worth and perform better. Or you could have grassroots small donations like what pioneered by Bernie Sanders where you're just going to collect money from the people that
For the
support you.
CCP, you kind of have to be born into it. There's a lot of hereditary things with it right away.
I don't know if that's necessarily true because Xi, they called him the Red Prince, but
Well,
before
if you
him,
just Google most of the leaders, all their family are in high positions, dude.
yeah, I get that, but we're talking about the very top. And in the
Yeah,
United
and that's
States,
what matters.
but here in the United States, at the very top, that's also hereditary, right? The president is not at the top in the USA. The government's not at the top in the USA. We have
How is
families
it
of
hereditary? Is there 2 family members that are
yeah,
in position of power?
Rockefeller and Morgan.
They're not politician. Rockefeller
But
was not a politician.
they have more power than the president in this country.
Yes, because money talks. Yes, money is power.
It's not just money either. We have dynasties even politically. We have barons and industrialists, monopolists. These are families that trace back hundreds of years. We
You have that in every country,
but
including
those
China.
people rule our country without any accountability to the masses or to the people
What type
whatsoever.
of accountability should they take? What type of
Well, for example,
accountability?
Xi is the official leader of China. So if he screws up, that's on him, and that's on the leader of China. He's accountable to the whole people.
Yeah, that's everywhere too.
But
Yeah.
no, if Rockefeller or Morgan screw up, then they're just private individuals. They're not accountable to the
Like what
public.
type of screw up? They jaywalked
They economically screw
or
up
what?
and endanger the whole welfare of the country.
I mean, that's the beauty of private markets, right? A free market. The companies are allowed to go bankrupt when they don't make money, and the good companies make money and will become better.
What is free? What is such a free market about our monopoly rentier
You,
type of society?
the
We
U.S.
don't
is
have a
not
free
pure
market here.
capitalism. Just saying,
We don't have
there's
a
no
free
form
market.
of pure. In what way? I mean, I don't think it's 100% free market. No,
We have the rule of
you want us
monopoly
to say it's
capitalism. We
99. Like, sure, it's
markets. We
not
don't have real
100%
markets in
free.
this country. So Wall Street insider trading controls the prices of
Insider
shares.
trading is illegal
I know it's legal, but it means we don't have a
or
real free
illegal.
market.
Insider trading is illegal.
Oh, but it still happens. It still happens objectively.
Yes, and if the SEC finds out, they will prosecute you for
Well,
that.
they don't find
I'm
out.
not saying it doesn't
So
happen. It
someone's
happens.
being
It's illegal.
bribed to look the other way, or they're just not doing a very good job. But yes, it does happen between hedge
I don't
funds
think
and,
the SEC is getting bribed, dude.
well, then they're just not competent. But anyway, yeah, we don't have a free market in this country. We have the rule of monopolies. We have the Federal Reserve that prints money. So we have politically controlled fiat currency. We don't. There's
Every
nothing
country
free about
prints
the
money.
market that exists in the U.S. at all.
Yeah, I think it's a hybrid. Yeah, and this system works great.
Well,
I'm not
what's an
saying it's 100%
example of our
free. I agree with
country?
you,
Okay,
actually.
what's example of the free market here that China doesn't have?
In the U.S., we don't own the means of production. It's not. There are no state-owned enterprises.
Yeah, but it's concentrated in the hands of a very few private individuals. So what about the free market? So to me, free market means you have a level playing field for competition. People can enter the market as competitors and upset the whole thing.
Yeah, you can do that with any company in the United States.
What's an example of that?
I mean, you have to start off at zero, dude. You can't start off with like, oh,
Really,
I
because
enter the
because when
market
I look at
and
the
we're
record,
competing with the
and but
biggest
when I but
companies.
here's
No,
the issue: when I look at the record, and I'm looking at the Silicon Valley venture capitalists, for example, the startups, all of those people who got to the top, Elon Musk, whatever, all Apple, all of those people had some kind of mysterious government connections and insider connections with the government and with the state and with prior institutions. So I don't see an example of
you
people
can
who
say that for
started from.
China too. You can say that with any country.
But at the very least in China, even if that's true, and I'm going to hold that on a pause for a second because it's not really true. But even if we assume it's exactly true in China, at the very least, everything is tailored toward helping the people as a whole and serving the people as a whole, right? Not just people who pretend
That's
to
what they
be.
say, sure.
But here we have people who say, "Oh, I'm just a private individual on the free market," and yet they're using our government, corporate socialism, and socialism for the rich to benefit. So if we have socialism already for the rich, why can't we have socialism for the people? Now in China, actually, it's not true that all of the major capitalists started
I mean,
out
you
with
have the ability to be rich too, dude.
yeah, but you don't. You have the ability to get rich. You don't have the ability to start industries and businesses on the basis of a free market
It doesn't start in
competition.
a day, bro. It takes years.
So what's an example of the free market at work in the USA?
We just don't have that much government intervention compared to other countries, dude.
Did you know that you need government
I'm
intervention?
not saying it's 100% free. It's just a lot more free.
Well, China has a freer market than us precisely because of government intervention, which helps the little guy have a level playing field on the market. And that's why
How does
China's
it
more
help the little guy?
competitive.
What policies are helping
China's
the little
China's
guy?
markets are more competitive and more people friendly, pro people friendly. It's much easier
Not
to start a
true. I
business.
don't agree with that.
Okay, I'll give you examples. It's easier to take out a loan to start a business in China. It's easier to start a business because taxes are lower for smaller business owners in China. There's no IP laws that
Taxes are higher in China,
there's
actually.
we don't have all this bureaucacracy and red tape that serves the corporation.
There's more bureaucracy in China,
Not
and taxes are
not
higher over
not
there.
no, not when it comes to starting a business.
Well, I mean, to start a business, you have to be smart, dude. Not everybody has the
That's
ability
fine.
to
That's
start it.
fine. But smart people in the U.S. are being stopped from starting businesses because of government red tape that has been formed because of regulatory capture in collaboration with monopolies. And China doesn't have that
That's not
problem.
true. What type of red tape are there?
Well, I mentioned IP laws. That's the biggest example that comes to mind. But there's also
IP is good. IP is a good
there's
thing.
a host of different. I can't recall them specifically to mind right now. Maybe in a second I will. But there's so many local and federal regulations that exist to protect monopolies and prevent small business owners from being able to.
I've already told you, monopolies are bad. Even Americans hate it.
Right. But
Capitalists
China
hate it
has
too.
ways of
Monopolies are not good for
China has
competition.
ways of combating monopolies that the U.S.
The
does
U.S.
not have.
has too. You just refuse to believe it, and then you're gonna just say, "Oh yeah, they're corrupt," and they're
The
doing
U.S.
they're not
does
doing
not.
anything.
The U.S. has a monopoly problem that China doesn't.
China has a monopoly because it's owned by the government.
What does it mean
I think
owned by
that's
the
the
government?
ultimate
The
monopoly.
government, the state-owned enterprises are the monopolies in your view?
You know, private companies, the tech companies, they also have CCP ownership. Most tech
Yes,
companies in China these
I
days
know.
are
That's a good
government
thing. And
now.
that's a good thing because that means those companies are going to serve the people and not the private
No, they're
interests.
not serving the people. They're serving the CCP. The CCP are not the people.
Okay, let's look at the track record. So, have the Chinese people overwhelmingly economically benefited from the policies of the CCP?
I think citizens are benefited in any country with a decent government and a stable government. We're not from fucking Afghanistan
So
or
how
fucking
okay, let me ask you a
Iraq,
better
dude.
question. Here's a better question then. How has the CCP benefited itself at the expense of the Chinese people? In what way does the CCP benefit
Because the
itself?
politicians are the one getting rich, not the people, dude. Minimum wage is $500 per month in China.
But what was it before?
Before, China wasn't even a country,
So
dude.
you're saying if
Or at
all
least,
the
yeah,
politicians,
CCP wasn't a
let me
thing.
hear you correctly. If all of the politicians, this is assuming you're correct about this, which I can't confirm. If all the politicians emptied their wallets and distributed it among 1.4 billion people, then the Chinese people there would be an elimination of all poverty.
Yeah, but have they done
No,
that?
that's like the
Or
people
is
in
that
the
a
US.
hypothetical?
That's like the people in the US who think if Elon Musk and the billionaires gave up all their money, then people would be rich, and it's not true. The truth
That's
is,
not true, yes.
when you're dealing with 1.4 billion
It takes
people,
trillions of dollars.
it's not okay. Let me explain it to you like this: how many billions are in a trillion? 1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have 1.4 billion Chinese people, right? So it would take
Yeah.
$1.4 trillion a year to give every Chinese person $1,000 a year.
I mean, I've never believed in cash handouts. I don't think that's
Well, I'm just
efficient.
telling you. Gave you an example of how is it that the CCP benefits itself at the expense of the Chinese people, and you say, well, there's a lot of poverty in China, whereas the government politicians can get rich. And I'm asking
State-owned
you, has that
enterprises, the
made
equity, the profits are not going to the people. It's not helping the people. It's not doing any greater good. It's just controlled by the government because the government wants to own it. Not they don't want the regular person to own it. They want the government, the party to own it. You see that's the thing with you American communists. You don't understand that politicians are not the people. They're
okay?
the ones with power.
Okay, for the last
You,
time,
you say they're trying to do the greater good for the people, but it's not
for the
the
last
case,
time,
dude.
for the last time, do ordinary people own it in the USA?
Own what?
What do ordinary people own in the USA?
They have the ability to
They
own
have
anything
nothing.
they
They have
want.
nothing. And whereas ordinary people don't own this state-owned enterprises because how could they? There's only a few state-owned enterprises, and yet there's 1.4 billion people. Ordinary people have a much lower barrier to entry to being able to own property and own their own businesses and have their own means of livelihood and have their own means of production. Whereas in the U.S., private individuals do control the economy. but at the detriment and to the expense of ordinary people who are increasingly owning nothing at all. So that's the main issue here.
So you're saying private individuals are not ordinary individuals. You're just using
Absolutely
two
not. These are
vocabularies.
individuals with immense political, institutional, and economic connections. They absolutely do not
Dude.
represent ordinary people.
Dude, you all just make no money and then hate on rich people. That's
Okay, so I
basically
have
what's
someone from China who
I
wants
believe
to. I have someone from
anybody has the
China
ability to
who.
become rich.
Hold on, I have someone from China who wants to challenge some of the things you're saying. Can I bring them up, or it's up to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Is
Alright.
he from China or is he actually from Canada,
He's
the
fro-
US?
Hello, can you hear me?
He's from China.
Yep.
So I've lived in China for most of my life, and I think I'm a pretty, let's say, I have my reason to talk about this topic. You know, I'm allowed to.
Where are you from in China?
I'm from Shanghai, and also I used to live in the
Shanghai?
northern part. I used to live in the
Privilege.
northern part too. Yes. Why?
He's probably a CCP member, guys.
I am a CCP member, the Canadian Communist Party. Yes.
You're probably rich as fuck too, huh?
I'm
You're
not
privileged.
rich though. I am really in
Yes,
poverty.
you are.
Yeah,
Hold
Yes,
on,
you
you didn't
are.
hear
around
him.
the
You didn't.
clock.
Hey, Soul, you
You're
didn't
rich,
hear him.
dude.
He's
You're a rich
Yes,
Chinese.
no,
I
Soul,
am so rich,
Soul.
sir.
He said he's part of the Canadian Communist Party. He's not part of the
Yes.
Chinese Communist
Oh, so
Party.
he's not even Chinese.
No, he
Well, I
is.
used to live in
He
China.
is.
Are you
No,
a Chinese
okay,
citizen?
here, listen to me, right?
So he escaped China to go to Canada. Nice.
What do you believe is the future for China? No. Fuck all that. What do you believe in the future for China?
I think the future is bright.
The future is bright, sure. And
Okay. I think
the future is bright for China.
fine.
You know, the economy is
just don't
rising,
like
the people are living
government.
better lives. It is bright, and it's because of the government that China is doing good. Okay, previously, let's say under the leader of the ROC, people were starving. Like, under the Qing dynasty, people were starving. Now we have the release of the productive forces. Now we have a
Because it was like
understanding of
100
history.
years ago.
And now we
People
have
didn't starve
actual
under Mao.
industrialization, not at the expense of the people, but we have industrialization that helps the people. The country is doing good. You know, people are finally eating their fill, and the entire country is developing.
Okay, US eats good too, bro.
Well, yeah, at what expense? At the expense of at the global south, you know, at the expense of the global south, at the expense of imperialism, and heck, there's more food insecurity in U.S., significantly more food insecurity than China. Not to mention the significantly smaller population of the U.S. You go to California streets,
Well, you gotta
see
talk
people
slower,
starving
bro.
on the streets. You go to California, you see people starving on the streets, right? You go to anywhere in China, you won't see the shit you see in California, sir.
Yes,
You get what
because
I'm
in
saying?
China they actually quarantine the homeless people and put them in another
Yes.
city, dude. And you won't see homeless people in Shanghai because they fucking kick them out and put them in the fucking farmland.
Wait, hold on,
Buddy,
because
You're not from
that's.
China, but
Wait,
you wouldn't
I know
know.
something about that. That's because in China, nobody is truly homeless in the sense that they have nowhere to go. They send them back to the countryside where they came from, where they will have shelter and a home to stay in. If they don't have a home to stay in, the government does take care of them to make sure they have somewhere to stay, like relatives or somewhere else. So China doesn't have a big homeless problem because the concept of homelessness is just
know
so
that.
foreign and alien to Chinese people's sentiments that you could just have someone who has absolutely no home at all and nowhere
China
to go
doesn't have a
to.
homeless problem because
Oh.
they don't want to show that they do. They just
No,
kick
it's
everybody
because
Hey,
out of
America's
tier one
more
cities.
individualistic and China's more family oriented, where people just don't have this thing where they have no roots and no background at all, where they just roam the streets by themselves with absolutely nothing to go back to.
But
I mean, you
listen to me,
can
listen
make
to
an
me, okay?
argument
You're
for
saying
that.
that I'm from Shanghai, so I don't get to talk about China's poverty. No, fuck you. I used to live in the north. I've absolutely seen what poverty looks like in China. And trust me when I say this, as bad as it can get, it is never as terrifying as what we see in California for the homelessness. You know, and this is the thing. You live in a wild imagination of your dreams. Where do you live?
I mean, I don't like California too,
Where do
dude.
you living? Where do you living?
In China or in US?
In U.S. Oh, you live in the U.S. right now. So what the fuck give you the right to criticize China?
I'm not in the US right now, no.
Criticize China.
I'm not in the US right now, no.
Where are you then?
I'm in Taiwan and I'm going to China in a few weeks.
Okay, if you hate China so much, why are you going to China? Why?
I don't hate China. I just don't like the government. I don't hate
Okay,
the
if
Chinese
it's-
people.
And the Chinese people love the government.
Sure, you can say that. I mean, I believe the
So-
Chinese
so
people
what?
are
You
clueless.
disagree with 1.4
They only
billion
care
people,
about
yet you claim
making
to love
money.
them. You disagree with 1.4 billion people, yet you claim to love them. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, in China, everybody loves the CCP because they're not allowed to hate it.
They're not
Like,
allowed to hate it. They're not allowed to hate. You're thinking of the Chinese Communist Party as a very abstract thing, you know, where it's just this abstract concept. There's the CCP and there's the
nobody
Chinese
hates the
people.
Communist
No, you don't
Party in
understand.
China,
The CCP
dude.
comes from the Chinese people. The Communist Party comes from the people. There's 100 million members in the Communist Party, and all of them come from the people. Every 1 in 14
Okay,
people,
but why
people
can't
in
they
China
vote then?
comes
Why,
from
why
the
can't they
party.
vote? Why are they so scared to get a vote by the people? Why are they so
What do you mean
scared of
can't they
voting?
vote? What do you mean why can't they vote? Everybody can vote in China. If you're
No,
not
they
voting in
can't.
China, you're actually okay. Okay, it's TOS, but everybody can vote in China. Everybody
That's
can
not
vote in
true.
China.
You can vote your fucking local leaders, but that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, that means everything. Because you think
You
about it,
can't
right?
vote for the
What
president.
affects
You
you?
can't.
What
There's no.
affects
You
you?
can't vote for anything.
On your local level, your local leader affects you. Okay, and you know your local stuff the best, which is why you vote for a local leader. Not to mention, in Western democracy, you also vote for a local representative. It's the same thing, but it's more effective. You're
I
criticizing
mean,
a
you
more
vote for your
effective
senators,
democratic
you vote
system.
for your congressman, you vote for your president, you vote for anything,
You
dude.
vote for a representative. Even in America, you vote for a representative. You don't directly vote for a presidential figure. That's not how
Yes, you
democracy
do.
works.
You vote for
No,
your
you don't.
president in
Literally
the U.S.
how democracy works. No matter if you're talking Westminster, if you're talking representative
The
systems,
Electoral College.
yeah, Electoral College. Thank you so much. Even like this whole FTP, PTP bullshit. No, even if you don't have the FPTP bullshit, right? You still have to vote for your local representative, who in the end vote for the national leader. If you're a Democrat and the guy decides to side with Trump, then you are technically still voting for Trump. You get what I'm saying, right? The thing is, like, you don't. There is no direct democracy where you just vote for any single leader, and that's not to mention that. Not to mention that
Let me say
that
something.
would be in reality. That wouldn't be
Wait,
functional, sir.
but let me say something. The people you vote for in China are nominated by the government officials, not everybody can run for government. The people
That is
that you're
also
voting for
false.
is already like green by the government. It's
That is
like, here,
also false.
we're going to give you
Anybody can
three
become a
choices.
representative.
Vote for them.
Anybody can
You have
become a
no other
representative.
choices.
Anybody can become a representative. Anybody,
No,
even
they're
you.
nominated
If you're a
by
Chinese citizen, you can become a
government.
representative. If you're a Chinese citizen, you can become a representative. All you have to do is sign up, get approval, and you're running. All you have to do is sign up, get approval of 15 people, and you can run. That's as simple as that. Running in China as a representative is infinitely easier than, let's say, running in Canada or the US as a representative. So what the
That's
fuck
not
are you
true.
talking about, sir? What do you mean
That's
that's
not
not
true,
true?
dude.
I study deeply the system of both nations. I study in depth. I study in depth the policies.
In China,
I study in
the
depth of the law.
people,
What the
the
fuck do you know? You have
people.
imagination. You have a wild, ideal
No, that's
imagination
not
that goes
true,
through your
dude.
head. And you criticize this strawman imagination.
Why are
You
you in Canada, dude? Why are you not in China? Why did you escape China, dude? Why are you not in China? Why are you in Canada?
In Canada, so I don't get to talk about China. Even though I know more about it than you. You're coping. You're fucking coping. Ah, the cope. The cope is here,
Keep yelling,
everybody.
dude. That's gonna make you sound more correct, dude. Keep yelling,
Oh, no.
dude.
Listen, I am correct, which is that you're coping so hard right now. But he lives in Canada. He doesn't get to talk about China. Shut the fuck up!
I mean, why don't you come to China?
Listen,
Why don't you go back to your motherland?
System.
Why don't you go back to your motherland, man? Why are you
right?
escaping
And
in
you're just
China?
coping so hard. You're coping so hard. You're coping so hard. Keep coping.
Dude,
I don't care. You lost this
dude, look at the
conversation.
privileged
You lost
children
so
of China.
hard, sir.
They
You lost so hard, sir. You're
escape
still
to the
coping.
US and Canada, and then
China.
it makes
You
no
don't get to talk
sense.
about China. You live in Canada. Buddy, you ran out of actual arguments. Now you're coping.
Yep, keep calling me with your keywords, bro. That's cringe.
Yes, that's cringe. How about we go back to actual arguments, all of which you lost, by the way.
I'm trying, dude. You're just yelling.
Okay, go back to them. An actual argument, please.
Yeah, you're saying it's so hard to run for anything in the United States. You know, it's not. Kanye West can run for president.
He's
Kanye
really
West,
rich
Kanye
though.
West.
It's really hard.
The guy's rich. So what?
Have you heard of Vernon Supreme?
He became a viral meme, but that's the only reason why.
I mean, anybody can run, dude.
And anybody can run in China.
Not really. You have to be nominated by the party.
No, you just have to be nominated by 15 citizens, and you just have to do good deeds. It's that simple. Anybody can run in China. There's nothing stopping you from running. Nothing. In the US, you have to get media attraction. Okay, so there is what's written in the law, and there are hidden powers, right? There's a more in-depth power behind society that's written on the surface, right?
To run for a position in China, you have to be the CCP. You can't run as another party.
Some of the most famous political advisors in China are rid of party. They don't even have a party membership. What are you talking about? Some of the most famous political advisors, let's say Jin Canrong, for example, he doesn't have any. He's not affiliated with any party at all. I'm not even mentioning how many sub parties or how many parties are in coalition with the CCP. We can drop that for a second, right? But there are literally people who are affiliated with no parties at all that run in very high governmental positions in the executive branch. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What do you mean not true? Name people.
That's not true.
That's not true. That's not true. Keep coping. Cope.
Yeah, that's not true, man.
That's not true, man. That's not true. If I can just deny our argument is that's not true, that there would be no reason to convert.
I mean, we can fact check this, but I just don't agree with you, and that's what I'm saying.
It's fucking Bloomberg, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with you. Is that not okay?
Oh yeah, sure,
you can say something. I can say anything, but if I think it's wrong, it's okay, dude.
Of course,
I think we need a fact checker.
Not agreeing with me is it's your right. It's your choice. Dude. But being stupid is also your choice, sir. It's your choice to be wrong and stupid.
This is what happens when I talk in your Discord and shit. People can't argue and then just calling you stupid and saying all this bullshit. You're
coping, sir. People can access someone that's coping so hard, sir.
You're coping, dude.
You're coping about what? About winning on my arguments?
You're yelling and saying you're stupid. You're not debating, dude.
Okay, this guy's funny. Fine, give me another actual argument then.
There's no free speech, dude. That's my number one. That's
Okay, listen here. In the U.S., right? If you get canceled on Twitter, there goes your career. In China, no matter how
Twitter is not free speech.
How many trolls? No matter how many trolls attack you on Weibo, you're not gonna lose your job. Okay. There are significantly more freedom of speech when it comes to not being canceled in China than the U.S. Okay, if you're canceled here,
canceled is not going to jail, dude. Canceled is not. You're not going to jail.
What happens to one when they lose their job under capitalism? Tell me.
You lose your job. Don't get canceled then.
Yeah, exactly. So where's the free speech? Where's the free speech?
You can get canceled in China. Chinese cancel culture is actually worse in the
Chinese cancel culture
compared to the U.S.
There's no way Chinese people lose their job because they're canceled. There's not a single person who loses their job because they're canceled in China. Look at how many people lose their job on a daily fucking basis. They get canceled in the United States for not being politically correct, for not agreeing with let's say establishment trends, for not agreeing with the liberal trends, for not agreeing with neoliberalism.
Individualism in China, dude. There's no individualism.
Yeah, of course there's no individual. Why is individualism so precious to you? Why is this weird pseudo worship of the individual?
I mean, dude, you're on Twitch right now on a Discord. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty Western culture.
So. Pretty Western. So what? The entirety of streaming and social media is entirely Western. That is stupid.
Yeah, because if you were in China, we could not be doing this. We could not be talking about China, and we could not be doing this, dude. You would have no platform, Oz. You would not be allowed to just stream and say whatever the fuck you wanted.
Okay,
you would have no job, actually, Haas.
We wouldn't have this platform.
I don't think that's true.
Change policies. We can actually change policies. True. Okay, if we were in China, we just write something up and the policy would change. In here, we have to scream so much, we have to get so much public attention, and nothing changes at all. You get what I'm saying here?
Not everything is efficient.
All we have to do is to write up policies and talk to the right people and try to get political maneuvering done. In here, that doesn't work.
I agree that a one-party state is more efficient in terms of enacting policies.
Exactly, yeah. Which is why it could serve the people significantly better. Unlike the corrupt government we have here in Canada and the U.S., where they don't give a shit we're talking about. We can complain all we want online, but nothing will change ever. Nothing will change ever.
Every government gives a shit about their country. No matter
every government gives a shit about. Hey, buddy, I live in BC. Right
at least
now, right?
I cannot be biased. At least I'm not biased.
You're not biased.
You're
saying that the CCP have no basis in the people, even though there's like 100 million of them, and every 1 in 40 people is in China is a CCP member, and you're telling me that they're so detached from the people, even though they are practically the people at this point. But you're telling me you're not biased. How are you not biased? What is biased to you, sir? So it's
not be bigger than the people.
Pro-neoliberal. I'm not biased.
The party is not more important than the individual. Sorry.
So what makes up the individual? The society makes up the individual. Without the society, the individual wouldn't exist. Without the individual, the society wouldn't exist. There's a dialectical nature between the society and the individual.
But one party doesn't equate to the whole society,
if there's the only reason why your individualism can shine so bright, right? It's because you're eating your fill. It's because you have a job to do. It's because you have a house to live. If you're starving out on the street, there wouldn't be no fucking individualism for you, sir. And to have an individual, you're going to have a sustainable economy first. You're going to have welfare first. You're going to have a people's economy first. You're going to have jobs first, okay? You ain't gonna have shit of this basic individualism if your country is fucking failing, if you got no healthcare, if you got no job.
Okay, I think China and America
There's
have good
nothing,
economies, so I don't know
and
what you're trying to say.
and talking about
You're just making
anti-individualism, right?
random facts.
And talking
Cool.
about
Very good, dude.
anti-individualism, right? Talking about
Very nice.
anti-individualism, right? Name me one thing more anti-individualistic than the absolute alienation of capital. Name it.
What was that? Sorry?
Name me one thing more anti-individualistic than the alienation of capital.
The alienation of capitalism? Why? Why would we want to alienate capitalism?
Oh, yes. I'm so individualistic for being a brainwashed consumer, being fed consumerism every single day. I just consume and consume. Just
Yes,
so
I do.
individualistic,
I love
everybody.
consuming. Don't you all? Don't you love watching Twitch? Aren't you all consuming right now?
Yes, watching Twitter is equivalent to being a brainwashed consumer.
You're a consumerist. Yes, sure. Is that a bad thing?
Consumer culture is not individualistic, according to you.
Dude,
If
yes,
you believe it's the reason why people adhere to a
Twitch
party
is the
line is
epitome of
individualistic,
individualism, dude.
what makes consumerism individualistic? It's not.
People have the freedom to choose what they consume.
And people have the freedom to choose policies in China.
Not really. It's a one-party state.
And the party serves the people.
You're biased because you're literally the party, dude. See,
And
you can say all you want. Party serve the
what gives
people.
the legitimacy to the party?
Cool.
What gives the legitimacy to the party? The people. Who gives the legitimacy to the market? Nothing.
Because
the market can
you
fuck
guys,
with anybody in the U.S. that you have to inherit it. It's inherently totalitarian.
You're really saying,
liberal freedom is inherently totalitarian. You don't get any alternative choices here. You can only consume and consume and consume until you fucking die.
Yes,
and even after you die, okay, even in your graveyard, you're still consuming. You still have to pay for that fucking grave.
Yes, that's in China too.
And then you go to like and your children, they're gonna go after your heritage, right? It's like that's gonna be fucked up because it sounds like tax evasion, all that stuff. What's so individualistic about this? It's just entire society. Just
what you said happens in China too. What you said just happens in China too. So I don't know what you're trying to say.
This happens in China too. This happens in China too. Okay, fine. Like whenever since China got this level of homelessness, got this level of obesity, got this level of just fucking lack of welfare, whenever has China just invaded other nations for these imperialist profits, and whenever has China have an economy that's failing so hard on every single level? Never.
In right now in the United States, if you wanted to take a COVID test, it'd be free because your insurance would pay for it. That's not the case in China.
And who pays for the insurance? You,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
and insurance.
So what? How is it free?
In China, don't you have insurance too?
Yeah, you have insurance that's significantly cheaper, by the way. You pay $50 for an entire
year. Our healthcare is better in the U.S. than China. That's why it's more expensive. U.S. healthcare is better.
So explain to me how many people died from COVID.
It's just more expensive.
How many people died from COVID in the U.S.? Since it's better, since the healthcare system is better.
Dude, Chinese numbers are fake, dude. Don't even talk to me about that. Those are fake numbers, bro.
It's not true.
Yes, it is. Chinese numbers are all fake. Chinese numbers are all fake. Chinese numbers are all fake.
I'm gonna go meta
numbers.
For a second.
Liars.
I'm gonna go meta.
PCP are liars.
Okay. You don't exist. Everybody in the U.S. is dead. The U.S. COVID number are all fake. Everybody in the U.S. is dead. There is no U.S.
Our numbers are not fake.
There is no American. No. It's fake. There's no more American people. They're all dead. It's all fake.
Yeah, I'm speaking a fact here, and then you're just lying. I mean, we can agree to disagree. Let's just do that. I don't see an argument here. Let's agree to disagree on this. I don't need to argue with you on this.
Okay,
I don't need to argue with you on this.
It's fake. I don't need to argue with you on this.
Yeah, because we agree to disagree.
Hold on, Soul. Do you speak Chinese?
Yes, I speak Chinese.
Someone in chat says you're lying, so just to disprove them, can you speak Chinese with Bolshevik Blade?
Okay. What do you want me to say?
Just talk to each other for like a sec. I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay.
说中文。
可以啊，你想说啥？
你这是很明显的台湾口音啊。
对，有一点。
Yeah, okay, that's good. So guys, he's not lying. He's not lying, guys. All right, you guys are good. He's not lying.
Do you support the DPP by any chance in Taiwan?
I mean, see, this is my take on the Taiwan situation because I'm Chinese and I'm Taiwanese, so I'm trying to not to be biased here. As a Chinese, I think Taiwan should be China's, but as an American and as a Taiwanese, I don't think so. Is that not a fair assessment?
So, why do you think
some people they're born in a country, they have no choice to think differently. They're not
What?
American citizens. If you're Chinese, why would you think like an American? You'll never be American. Why would you think like an American? You have no choice.
And hello.
I believe in democracy, so I think I don't know. I
Okay,
think
so you
Taiwan
believe in
could be
democracy.
doing
What
good.
is democracy to you? What is democracy to you, sir?
Freedom of voting, dude.
And you guys are in China. The end.
No, you don't. There's only one party in China. It's not a fair election, dude.
Okay,
You
so
cannot create your own
let me
new
tell you something.
party
Let me
in
tell you
China.
something. When
You
George
can't.
Washington established America, in his vision, there should be no parties. You should
Okay,
just,
too
you should
bad.
just
George
vote.
Washington is dead, dude.
You should just vote for your local representatives because they know
George Washington is not a god.
they know the local level the most, you know. And then you vote for them, and eventually that reflects
George
to the
Washington is
national
not
level.
my god, dude. I'm
If
sorry.
anything, the Chinese system is infinitely closer to what the American democracy should be than American democracy itself.
Why? Why would you say that?
That's the vision. That's the vision we have. That's the vision the Americans have in the beginning. And in the end, the Chinese have successfully executed this great vision, while the Americans failed at maintaining George Washington's vision. So, if anything, the Chinese are infinitely closer to the original interpretation of democracy than the Americans will ever get, ever.
There's no democracy in China, dude.
You can keep repeating
Sorry.
that. You can keep repeating that, but apparently George Washington is not democratic.
George Washington is dead.
And so, does that make him undemocratic?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you don't know, then you should listen to me, which is that China is democratic, and it's infinitely
No, it's
closer to the original American view of democracy. You can keep on copying, you can keep on saying that, but to deny China,
Dude,
you
in
have to
China,
deny.
you cannot create your own party and run.
To deny China, you have
That's
to
not
deny George
democracy.
Washington, sir. To deny China, you have to
How's
deny
that
George
democracy
Washington.
if you can't
You
create
should
your
have,
own party?
you need to deny the original vision of democracy that Americans.
Okay, if you don't agree with the
if you want to
CCP,
deny
how is it, and
China.
you want to run, that's not possible. How is that democracy?
Also,
If you
can run-
disagree with
And by
someone,
the way, just a quick thing, you
dude,
can
you
run as an
communists
independent.
just can't handle disagreements.
You can run as
That's
independent.
why. That's
You can
just
run
so
as an
sad.
independent. You can run
I'm
as an
actually just
independent.
trying to be not biased
Also,
here.
and by the way,
You would
give
love
me
to
a-
jail me, wouldn't you, huh? You would love to put me
jail
in
you over
jail
what? Jail you over what?
for disagreeing with you. You would
Why,
love it.
why would I want to do that?
I mean, that's what China does.
Okay, I'm counting. Give me a moment. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parties. There are 9 different parties in the Chinese Congress and 472 independents. There are significantly more parties in China than the USA.
It's a one-party state, dude. Don't tell me
This is a
otherwise.
one-party state. There are literally 9 different parties and 400 independents in China.
Fake news. Fake news.
What?
Fake news.
Fake news
Man,
what?
fake news, bro.
Next level cope here.
It's a one-party state.
Okay, if
You're
we're,
fake news,
if we're counting
bro.
all the independents as one party, right? There's literally 5 times more party in the Chinese
No,
Congress
there
than the
aren't.
American Congress.
No, in America there are many parties, but they just don't get votes. We don't vote for them. Dude.
Exactly. And why is that? Why is that?
I don't know. Ask the voters.
No. Ask the media. Ask the capitalists. They control the press. What fair
I
chance
don't like
do
the
you
media.
have?
I don't like the media.
What fair
So
chance do you have?
sure.
Okay, yeah. Right, that's an agreement we can settle upon, right? Why don't you like the media? Why don't you like the media?
You think the media is
Why
like
don't
the
you like the media?
all-seeing God that determines what people choose?
Soul
At the end of the
174
day,
has been
Answer me,
defeated
why
on
don't you like
every
the
point.
media? Why
American
don't you like the
He is
citizens
media?
not
can choose
worthy
Why
of
whatever
don't you
they
like the
want.
media?
Blade
Why don't you
side.
like
It's
the
their
media?
fault if they
Why
get
don't you like the media? Why
like,
don't you like the media?
brainwashed. I think the
Brainwashed, sure.
media is
And
very
it's-
biased.
It's
I don't
biased
think
and
there's real
brainwashed.
independent journalism.
And there's no
in
real
America
independent
these days.
journalism. Yeah, exactly. So now since we're at a stage where the
I mean,
entire
China is
media
state
is
journalism,
about
so
is
there's
about
no free press. There's
it's
no
about
free
me some
press in
money, right?
China,
Listen
dude.
for a second. If the entirety of the media is based on capital, is based on whoever can give the most money and they can control the most amount of media coverage, then the
Yes, media is
entirety
a
of Western
for-profit.
democracy,
Yes.
then the entirety of Western democracy is about manipulating the people into voting for you, which is about the competition of capital.
I mean, if you get
So-
manipulated, that's your fault, dude. But you have the ability to not get manipulated. You still have the ability to choose. I mean, if you get manipulated, that's your fault.
Choose what? Democrats or Republicans?
Yes. I mean, sure, people can manipulate you, whatever. But at the end of the day, you still can vote.
So the
You can
failure
choose to not
of
look
Western
at the media.
wait, hold on. So you're saying that the failure of Western democracy is contributed to the individual.
Unlike you, I don't think Western
No, no, no.
democracy is perfect. You think
No, I don't think it's
CCP is
perfect. No, I don't. I think it should be rejected. But no.
You
So you
think
believe the
CCP is
failure. You
100%
believe the failure.
perfect, dude.
You believe the
I don't
failure
think
of Western
America is
democracy.
perfect. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
hold on. So would you say that the failure of Western democracy is due to the individual being brainwashed?
Not necessarily, no. But there are
Why
a
not?
few that are brainwashed, sure.
Because you keep so the few that keep on voting the Dems and Republicans party every single time, and voting for
That's not
they
because
never
of
vote
the
for a third
media,
party.
man. It's not because of the media. It's
What is it
because
about?
they're just
Why
the
is
two
it?
dominant parties.
Why are they dominant?
Why? Because most people believe in those two parties and not the
And
others.
why? What's the essence of this? Why is it that?
I don't know. You ask the voters, man. It's their own choice.
Okay, it's their own choice, and this choice is leading America down to
I mean,
chaos.
that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
That's not my opinion. National debt is rising. Wages are not rising at all. Prices are rising. Everything's going to shit. And you're telling me that
It's called
everything's perfectly
inflation.
fine.
You,
And it's
you
just
don't
all
understand how
opinion.
inflation works, dude.
Okay, how does inflation work?
Inflation works when there's more money in the system. When the
And
money
why is
supply is
that? Why is
increased.
that?
Why is that? Because of COVID. I mean, for
Okay,
now, you know,
before
there's a
COVID,
business cycles of.
before
You
COVID,
know,
there are significant
I
amounts
don't
of
want to
inflation
explain
already.
finance and economics to you. Like that's every time I talk to
I don't need you to explain,
communists,
sir,
I have
because
to end
obviously
up
you don't know what the fuck you're
to, like,
talking about.
teaching you guys how economics
Inflation is
and
because of
finance,
COVID.
basic
You
finance
say
works.
inflation is because of COVID.
So
Are you
sad,
fucking kidding
dude.
me,
It's just
sir?
so
Are you
sad.
fucking kidding me, sir? There are so many inflation even before COVID, but no, it's all because of COVID. Let's blame
No,
COVID.
inflation was at an
The
all-time
American
low
system. Fine. If the American
before
system is so
COVID.
perfect, why
So
can't it deal with the
yeah,
COVID?
you're a
It
liar.
can't. I'm a liar. That's the one who believes that inflation is totally due to COVID. And I'm lying. How the fuck am I lying, sir? How the fuck am I lying?
Yeah, you know why inflation rose during COVID? You want me to teach you this?
No
Like,
shit. No
dude,
shit was during COVID, but that doesn't mean that inflation doesn't
I'll be
exist
your
before.
professor today, or
Inflation
like what?
exists before. Inflation exists before COVID. Inflation exists before COVID.
Inflation exists in any country. China, there's inflation too. Like, I don't know what you're trying to
When
argue.
have China ever reached this level of hyperinflation we have in the US? And it's not only inflation,
Inflation is at
stagflation.
6%. It's not that bad. Dude. It's at 6.2%.
6% is
Not that bad.
It's not only
Yeah,
inflation, but it's also stagflation. Your wages are rising, sir.
yeah. Right now, it's basically stagflation.
Your buying power is lowering. Okay,
But you know how the business cycle works? It's
your
not
saving
always
is
going to be
withering.
growing. Just like China, it's almost entering a recession. It's
That's
like,
what you said 5 years ago.
you
That's
know,
what
there's
people
a
like you say
business
5 years
cycle,
ago. That's
right?
what people you say.
Like,
That's what people like you say 5 years ago. China
you
is
guys
totally
don't
hit
understand
the
basic
recession, sir.
economics. It's
Basic
just how it
economics.
is, bro.
You put on the basic economic card. Fine. What is basic economics to you? Is it just like inflation?
Well, you don't
It's
understand how
natural.
inflation works. You think it's a bad thing. Like, I don't understand why. Inflation is a natural part of the like any economy, whether
So
it's
just
communist or not, or democracy.
so
So
just
I don't
because
know
it's
why you
natural, we
think
should accept
inflation
it.
is a greater evil. Like, I don't know what you're saying, dude.
No, it's a symptom. It's a symptom. What
I
causes
mean, there's
symptom?
inflation everywhere.
And
It's not political.
okay, what causes symptom?
When there's more money supply in the system, there's inflation.
Why is there more money supply? No, why is there more money supply?
Because in COVID, nobody went to work because we're all home. The economy stopped.
Yes. So
And
why
when
does
it
that lead to more money
closed,
supply? You're telling me you know so much about basic economics. So I'm testing you on this.
because we need to prop up the economy because the economy is frozen. We need to put more money into it so people can get jobs.
Yeah, okay. Why isn't the
There's
economy frozen in
stimulus
China?
checks,
Why isn't the
dude.
economy frozen in China? Why isn't the economy frozen in China then?
It was frozen for like
It was
3
frozen
months,
for
but
like
then they fixed COVID over there
yeah. Why can't we fix COVID here? Why did we froze for 2 years?
because half of Americans don't believe it's a real thing.
What is that?
I mean, ask them, dude. I
don't ask them. It's the system's fault. It's the system's fault for not being able to educate the people on proper science. It's the system's fault for making people believing all these wild conspiracy theories. If the government is reliable in America, people would believe what the government say and they would do
I
what
mean,
they're told. But that's
I
not
don't
the
even think
case.
COVID is
Because
that
it's
much
not
of
the
a
case.
bad thing. I'm
know
more
why?
of a. I don't really care about COVID, dude. I don't think it's that big.
You know why China can control COVID? Because the people trust the government. Because the people believe in the government. Because
Yeah,
people
I
work
think the
together with the
Chinese
government.
handling of COVID is a good thing. Chinese
Unlike
handled
America,
COVID really
unlike
well.
America.
I agree with that.
Nobody believe what
This
the
is me
government is
not
saying
being
in
biased
America.
here.
Nobody believe what the government is saying in America, which is why they failed to handle COVID. And this means that the
Because
people in
it's
China
50-50.
love their government significantly than the people in America love their government.
Okay, I agree
Which
that
means
China is more united than America. Okay, I agree.
it's more united because it's more democratic. This unity is what forms democracy. It's this unity that forms democracy. It's not some abstract idea of this procedural justice. Procedural justice is bullshit. It's this unity
There's
that
no
the people
representation,
inherit to
man.
a common will that forms democracy. It is not this procedural justice that makes up democracy. That makes jack shit. You can have all the procedural democracy in the fucking world.
So you're
Like
saying
Nazi
because
Germany.
everybody agrees that is true democracy.
Yes,
I
yes.
do not agree with
It's
that.
democracy
I
rooted in
believe
the
that
people. It's
the
democracy rooted
reason
in the
why people
people.
disagree is why we have democracy. Like I think opposite of you, so we can
Okay,
agree
so
to disagree on
you don't
this.
believe democracy is the way of bringing people together. You just believe democracy is the way to separate people.
It is a way
But
to
you
bring
don't-
people together, but it doesn't mean that if everybody agrees, that is true democracy. That's not democracy to me. Just
That's not
because
democracy to
everybody
you, but that's
agrees,
democracy
that's
to 1.
democracy to
That's
you.
not democracy to you, but that's democracy to 1.4 Chinese 1.4 billion Chinese people, and it's working great for them. So you don't
I mean, they
need to
wouldn't
think
know
about how to
because
change
they
China.
don't know what
You
it
don't need
means
to
to like
think. You don't have the right to
have
think about
more
how
than one
to
party.
change China, okay? Because there are infinite amount of more people that agree with China than you do, and they live in China.
Nobody disagrees with China because they can't, dude.
Because they
Nobody
can,
in
because they
China
can't.
disagrees with the government because they're not allowed to.
They're not allowed to. The government just some 1984 fucking thing.
Because if they do, they'll go to jail.
Go to
That's
jail
why
over
we
what?
agree.
Name me one law where they can put people in jail. Please, please, please.
I have family members that went to jail.
Like who?
I won't tell you the name, but
Don't
Only the
reveal any
military
names.
over.
Don't reveal any
Tiananmen
names.
Square,
How?
they released a list of 20 individuals, and one of them is there.
Over
Okay,
what?
so it's personal.
Over what? Over what?
The student in Tiananmen Square protest, the Chinese government released a list of 20
okay.
to
Tiananmen Square
23.
protest. Well, let me tell you something interesting. Okay, both my uncles attended Tiananmen Square protest. Okay, both of them. They went home unscratched. Nothing happened to them ever. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now
Yeah.
you look at America. How they treat the people of the Capitol Hill riot. How the FBI hunts them down. How they lose their jobs. How they get shot in the head.
Yeah, that's rioting.
the same
That's
thing.
rioting. That's not
And
protesting.
and how is Tiananmen Square not a riot? How is Tiananmen Square not a riot? There's hundreds and hundreds of soldiers dead from being shot by auto rifles. How is that not a riot?
That's fake news.
That's fake news. And every time I bring up a fact, you say it's fake news.
That's not.
because
That's
because
not
the
a
only
fact.
way you can
Okay, I don't want
justify
to
your
argue with
failing.
you on this. This
The
is a
only way
agree
you can
to
justify
disagree
your
with you.
failing
This is he
ideology
said, she
is
said.
through historical revisionism,
That's fake
because
news,
history
bro.
doesn't side with you. Because history does not side with you. You use historical
History
revisionism
is written
to
by the
justify
victors,
bullshit.
man. History is written by the victors.
History is written by the victors. There's no historical truth. There's no historical truth. Truth is an illusion. Truth is an illusion. No. What is the postmodern
Dude,
bullshit?
you're literally the thought police right here, dude.
The what? The what? The what?
You wouldn't know. You're the
Exactly.
thought police, dude.
I'm the sock police. Okay. Listen to me for a second.
You're so mad if someone disagrees with you.
Why is that you believe there's no historical truth? No. Anybody would get
I
mad
mean,
when
it's
they talk to
okay
an
to
idiot like
disagree,
you, okay?
man. I mean, I think nothing is perfect, but it's
The problem isn't that
fine,
I'm
dude.
mad. It's that anybody would get mad talking to an idiot like you.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
That shows how immature you are.
Yes. I am more mature than you, sir. At least I don't believe truth is an illusion.
Okay, sure.
Like you believe there's no historical truth.
I think you need some weed.
No. I take the China stand against all drugs.
You sound like a boring person.
Yes. At least I'm gonna be dead on the street. Your best argument against me is that I'm boring. Now, can I ask chat on Twitch? Am I boring, please?
This is fucking. Oh my.
So Soul. I know I'm
That's
not
not
really
fair, bro.
neutral here, but I do have to ask you a question. It
Yeah.
seems like your basic argument here is basically you just saying you don't like
Thanks,
the
Pat.
CCP yourself, But why should the Chinese people agree with you? I think that's like the question. Like, what can you do about it? So you don't like the Communist Party in power,
I don't
but
really. I'm not fucking revolutionary, dude. I just disagree. I'm not here to like.
so
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, man?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. It's just what is the point really?
I'm just trying to have an opposing view. I mean, it may in China may always be communist for the next 10,000 years. So be it, dude.
So
I'm
you're
just
really
trying to
just
have
kind of
a
like playing the devil's advocate, pretty much.
What's the point of
yeah.
opposing
I mean,
view? It's
because
not gonna
I'm
change.
what I'm saying is what I believe in. So
Right,
like, it's
I get
just
that.
okay,
It's
man.
just I don't know. It's kind of
Well, what do you want me to do? Go to China and start protesting?
no.
I just
I
go to
know.
jail immediately.
I'm just saying. Like, what's the point? You know, like what's the end point?
I guess for me to try to educate other people too about a different view. Isn't
Okay.
that why we're talking about this?
I mean, most cultists can be considered different view.
Yeah, they're free to believe in whatever they want. You may think they're retarded, but they're free to believe in whatever they
Hey,
want.
chill, chill,
Dude.
chill,
Hey,
It's all
chill,
hey, hey,
freedom.
chill,
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 chill.
chill. TOS.
Don't use these words.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah. See, now this is what we call freedom of speech. Okay, you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Uh, so ultimately, if you don't have a specific issue with China, if your ideas contradict with reality, then really that makes them really valid. You know what I'm saying? Like you need some actual demands if you want to oppose something, but you have no actual demands. You're just opposing for the sake of opposing,
Yes,
which
let me
makes no
just
sense at
call the
all.
CIA real quick, man. Like shit.
What?
Go on, Soul. Let me ask you a question. So you're saying you're going to China soon? Wouldn't what you're
Yeah.
saying here not be legal? Wouldn't you get in trouble for going to
Yes, that's
China?
why I'm not gonna show my face. I'm not gonna tell you my name. Like I'm like, dude.
I got you, but you said you had family members in jail in China. So if China doesn't have any due process or whatever, wouldn't that also mean that you're going to be in trouble in China too?
Well, I mean, when people go to jail in China, they take away your family's passports, et cetera,
So
for a limited
isn't
amount of
that
time,
going
though.
to happen to you? Why are they letting you in the country if that's going to happen?
Well, the Tiananmen Square guy, he's cool with the government now.
Okay, but I thought they
Doesn't
were
that
in
Yeah,
disprove your
jail.
point?
he the CIA got him out. So
What? What?
Wait, what? Wait, what?
I mean,
What
it's
the
on
fuck?
Wikipedia, dude. It's open source information.
This guy's glowing hard. This guy's
What?
glowing very hard right now.
It's open source, and I'll send you a link, dude. Like, I don't. Is that surprising to you guys?
Dude,
So
are you like the sun in the sky because your glow hurts my eyes?
okay, I mean,
Which is why I can't stand looking at you.
so this your work for the CIA? I don't know what's
No,
going
I
on.
don't.
I just don't. I'm struggling to understand like
A
what.
second. You like send a link or something?
All right. So
See,
do you
this is where
think?
I'm like trying to not to dox myself
No, no,
anymore
yeah,
at
yeah,
this
get it.
point.
So
Like, dude.
do you think there's any arguments you feel were not adequately addressed by Bolshevik Blade that you
I mean,
had?
I understand where you guys come from. You know, I respect your decision and your choice to believe in that. Like, I understand. I know it's like for your good, but it's a difference in thinking, and people are entitled to that. Like, it's fine. If you're born somewhere, you have no choice. Sometimes you have no choice to think like another person would somewhere else. That's fine.
Well, don't think for them then. Let them think for themselves.
I'm not. I'm not thinking for you guys. That's why I'm
All
just
right,
Then you
there's
can
thinking
think
out
for the
another
loud.
person
Chinese.
from China that wants to join. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All
Dude,
right.
these guys aren't even living in China. None of them are. It's a hypocrisy to the
All
max.
right, here he is.
Yo, so
What's up?
会讲中文吗？
会啊，会啊，可以啊。
你哪里人？
想讲啥？
台湾的吗
台湾、中国都有啊，美国都有啊。
？Okay, okay. I'll speak to you in English for the sake of the audience.
Yeah, English is better.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. What is your deal? Like you
Not
just
much, dude. I just don't really agree with communism that much. I mean, you can shit on Western democracy all you want, but I just think it's a better solution.
For
and
the West, and not even for the West, right?
Okay,
To be fair.
maybe it's actually it wouldn't work in the East, sure, but
uh,
I just think liberal democracy works.
what is the point of contention? Because you haven't raised a single one yet. Like, is it because it's not a Western democracy or what? You haven't raised a single point so far.
But
Let's.
I just don't agree with the Communist Party. I don't think it works well.
Oh, it doesn't work well. Ask people who had their income, tripled, even like quadrupled over the last couple decades. I don't know. That seems like a pretty good track record.
How the economy works, dude. It's not about politics at that point.
Oh, so
Politics.
you're saying that it doesn't work well, and I give you example of how people's living standard has increased, and you're saying, oh, that's just the economy, and economy and politics are somehow you're able to separate them.
China has worse wealth inequality than the United States. So cool, dude.
It's 0.42. I know the figure you're talking about, Gini coefficient, right? It's still
Not really.
U.S. Right?
China has worse wealth inequality. I've seen it firsthand. You understand that
I know
your
you're
fucking
talking
people are
about
your slaves over there if you're rich. Oz, you're the 1% in China. Those waiters in the restaurants, they'll treat you like gods.
I know I'm very privileged in general in terms of the cards that's been handed to me in life. I don't know what your point is.
yeah, like,
Yeah, I'm just saying it's cool. I mean,
like
people can say, yeah, the quality of
Hold
life
on,
is
hold on.
getting better every year. Cool, it gets better every year everywhere.
no,
That's
it
how
doesn't.
progress is made.
Um, if you look at how Ukraine is going, you look at how the United States is. Life isn't getting better. You could say
Rust
that.
Belt,
I
right?
think it is. See, that's where you're just pessimistic.
No, please,
You're
please,
in
please.
the
Look,
United States.
sir,
Your
sir,
life isn't
sir.
going well. That's
Please,
why you
please,
turn to
please.
communist.
Look at the Rust Belt, right? The Rust Belt, they used to be prosperous. They used to have all these factories. You used to have jobs. Everybody can afford a house. You go to Walmart on the weekend. You buy a lot of stuff home. You live a good life on the Rust Belt before. But every single year now, the people are being more and more impoverished. There are places on Earth where the economic growth had led to more poverty because really, economy, like all the numbers you see, they're
I don't think
fictitious.
America is
They
getting
don't
worse.
relate to
That's very
production.
un-American for you to think that.
Oh, hold on.
I mean,
You
you're
don't think
probably not
America is getting
American,
worse?
Canadian, or
How,
some
how,
shit.
how about this? You can ask Haas. Is the people living in the Rust Belt living worse and worse lives every single year?
Yeah, I would say so, definitely. Yes.
Exactly. And he's American.
No, they
So
think their lives are well. Actually, that's your opinion. Their
most of
lives
the
are
people
going
on the
great.
Rust Belt
They
would
love their
disagree
lives.
with
They
you.
got their
There's
family
so much
oriented.
uncertainty over jobs. There's a lot of businesses that were shut down because of
Dude, the
COVID.
Rust Belt has the lowest unemployment rate compared to like the democratic liberal
Listen,
cities.
these jobs that people are working is that's a complete sham. These are people are stacking up multiple jobs. They're
Dude,
not
because
high
in the
quality
US,
jobs.
people are lazy compared to Chinese people. Americans are lazy compared to Chinese people, dude.
So
You can't blame it on
It's a
culture,
different
sir.
culture with a different work ethic. It's a completely different thing.
so you think that the economic situation in the Rust Belt isn't that despair? Like it's not despairing?
I think
Like
America is doing great.
why do you think people voted for Trump in 2016? Why? You think it's just
Because
that they just voted
I
for
don't know.
Trump?
You ask them. Everybody has a different view. Not everybody agree. There are people that vote for Trump for different reasons, dude.
The
You
thing
have
is,
to
sir,
understand
sir,
it.
sir,
Majority of
your
people
core
voted
problem,
for
right?
Trump
So please.
because they're not happy with how the establishment, they're not happy with the economic solutions that has been presented by the establishment for the last decades or so. So they voted for someone else.
Because people will always be unhappy, dude. Not it's just normal. Not everybody's happy.
Wait, hold on, sir. What makes you think that gives you the right to speak for both the Chinese people and the American people on the Rust Belt? Like you speak for the Chinese people of how they're not doing good under the CCP, and you speak for the American people on the Rust Belt of how they are doing good right
Yeah,
now.
that's called not being
It's
biased.
like you're speaking for them without their permission.
So you're speaking with them without permission too. Like, I don't understand. Why do you need permission to speak? You
It
gonna
makes
jail
your
me too?
opinion valid. It makes your opinion valid. You're speaking
Who
for
do I
them,
need
which is why your
permission
opinion
from?
is invalid. I have
The
evidence
president?
of why. I have evidence of why
That's the
my
problem here.
speech
Look,
is valid.
that's
You don't have
absolutely
any.
the
You
problem.
don't have any evidence of why your speech is
That's literally
valid
the
because you're
problem,
speaking
dude.
for them. I'm not speaking for. I'm not speaking for them. I'm speaking for them. Get what I'm saying? You got what I'm saying? Yes, yes.
Bro, whatever, dude.
I mean, if you're around the arguments, you're free to fuck off.
I mean, I can talk about anything. We can switch to geopolitics, dude. I mean, I understand there's a status quo, but why are Chinese allies all fucking terrorist states?
What?
What?
Okay.
Iran, North
One.
Korea, you want to start naming a few?
Hold on.
Wait,
How
wait.
is North
Venezuela?
Korea? How is North Korea a terrorist state? Can you explain
Oh,
that?
so you're pro North Korea. I
Yes.
see.
No.
Yes,
How
I
is
am.
it the
I
terrorist?
am.
Pro-based, guys.
Hold on. Just to be clear, where I
Pro-based.
stand on this, I am 100% pro North Korea.
Pro North Korean?
Just so we're clear. Yes.
Damn, bro.
Yo, we take Korean Bolshevik in here.
Damn. All right.
So look, buddy. If we're gonna start labeling countries as terrorist country, I think the U.S. makes the top list. I don't think you're going
Yes,
down.
America looks after itself first.
Yeah, a terrorist that looks after itself. Yeah, so that's basically what you're saying.
Okay,
right?
yes. We are at the North Korean level, you know? Yep.
Okay, so your idea of labeling countries terrorists just because you don't like them, that's not really effective. So
I mean, you want me to start off with North Korea, or like you want me to start going bullet point? Like, what do you want me to do, man?
I mean, you don't like North Korea, so you just decide to label it terrorist because everybody oh, terrorist is a scary word, etc.
Yeah, what's terrorist about North Korea? I know why people call Iran that, even though I reject that label. But why is North Korea? How is North Korea a terrorist country? I don't get it.
How is North Korea a terrorist country? Wow, I've never. I wouldn't think a
please,
day where I would be
explain.
fucking trying to explain this to someone.
I mean, try. I'm intrigued, so you can go ahead and try. I don't see how it's a terrorist country at all.
Why are they so isolated? Let's start with that.
Because they're sanctioned by the U.S. and basically, every single country in the West. So like that kind of explains it. Kind of like how Cuba is being sanctioned. It's kind of
You don't
obvious.
need to.
Wait,
Cuba's
hold on.
not
So
isolated anymore.
So North Korea is being sanctioned by the U.S. They're being bullied. The U.S. is trying to starve them, and that's somehow their fault.
Yes, I mean, there's a reason America did it, right?
The reason for who?
For the U.S.
Yeah, what's the
Exactly.
reason?
So even you understand that U.S. only sanctioned North Korea for their own geopolitical benefits. Yet you're saying that this somehow is North Korea's fault.
Because the North Korean regime, the Kim dynasty, it's a dictatorship. They don't care about their people.
Okay, so you're making a different claim because now you're
Is
saying
it
that
that
it's
hard to understand? Like,
because now you're saying it's authoritarian in the Western liberal sense, but that's different from being a terrorist state. You get my point? Like you couldn't make if you want to make the case that North Korea is authoritarian in the Western liberal sense, okay, fine, whatever. But calling it a terrorist state, I
yeah,
don't think.
if you don't do anything for your people, that's bad, I
And
guess.
by the way, if we're talking about
Hold on, how do they not do
dictators-
anything for their people?
Yeah,
All the money goes to Kim Jong Un, dude.
That's not
It
true
doesn't
at
go
all.
to the people.
I think North Korea does pretty well for itself, given the circumstances of being isolated and forced to be almost entirely independent, with a few exceptions.
I think more than half their country is starving, dude.
That's not true. Right now, that's not true.
I mean, we wouldn't know, right? We
Hold
wouldn't
on.
know. So let's not make assumptions.
This is
now.
kind of weird.
Yeah,
So,
that's a fact. You're basically
You-
saying that North Korea's population is going to halve anytime soon now because they're starving. So that
You're
means
telling
that
me-
they're going to be half their population any day now.
I mean, starving.
Starvation does
necessarily
not
mean
last that long.
I mean, if you eat
These sanctions
rats and
happen
eat
because of
rice, you
dictatorship.
can live for a long time.
Hold on, hold on. You're telling me that these sanctions happen because it's a dictatorship, yet somehow most dictators in the world is funded by the U.S. Whether it's Chile, whether it's Guatemala, whether it's Congo.
What about South
Yes,
Korea?
the
South Korea
CIA
was
does interesting
South
things.
Korea was a
Sure.
criminal mafia dictatorship for most of its existence.
Exactly. The Korean people are celebrating right now because while their ex-president died,
Actually,
who was,
South
by the way,
Korea's
pro-US.
prosperity comes from its economic growth, not necessarily its political system.
Yeah,
And the reason why the South Koreans are doing slightly better now is because they have a left-leaning government. And
they're just doing
that of which,
slightly better than North Korea, you know?
that
No,
of which
he's
America
only a
tried to
little
remove.
bit
Blade's
better.
saying slightly
Sure.
better than they were before.
They
Not
were
better
before.
than South. Obviously, they have
Like,
considerably
what-
higher standards of living than North Koreans.
Why is South Korea so much better than North Korea?
Because it's opened up to the world economy.
Okay, think about it this way, right? The Americans does not care about the Korean people. Both sides don't care about it. The
Yes,
Americans
every
practically
country cares about themselves. I think we
Exactly,
should all
exactly.
understand that.
so that you can't really blame on North Korea, then, can you?
I mean, I don't think North Korea, Kim Jong-un doesn't care about his people.
No, you can't really blame being sanctioned off from the world on North Korea itself, can you?
You can't blame them.
I think Kim Jong
You
Un does
can't-
care about his people. Actually,
I mean, he cares about himself more, so...
I don't
Where
know
do you get that?
what
Western media?
evidence do you have for that?
There cannot be no one that rules without the support of the people, or else the country will be constantly in shambles. The country will be in constant crisis.
Okay, I don't even know I'm arguing about North Korea.
Let me ask you a question:
this
Which
is common
people
sense.
do you think have more loyalty to their government, South Korean or North Korean?
North Korea.
Exactly. Because they
Which
have
people
support
do
of
you
their
think
people.
would be willing to give their lives for their government and
North Korea.
for their leader?
Because they're brainwashed, dude.
Okay, but is it called? You're calling it brainwashed, and what if I'm calling it having a sense of purpose and meaning in life instead of? Well, South Korea has a very high rates of mental illness
I mean,
and
I guess
depression.
people see purpose as a different thing.
Don't you think
know?
nihilism is a big issue in developed countries today?
What?
Don't you think nihilism is a big issue in developed countries today?
Mm,
Because I think North
I would
Koreans,
say, yeah.
despite
I mean,
going through
that's what.
despite their tough times, even today, they have a sense of deep love and pride for their country.
I mean, I think that's a part of evolution. So, I mean, I'm more of a fatalistic person. So I see it how.
Yeah,
that's how
but
society
I
adapts,
think
dude.
I wouldn't be surprised if, despite the disparity in standard of living, North Koreans were actually happier.
Okay, I guess we see people see happiness as different things. That's how
Which
it
is why you shouldn't force your mode of happiness onto anyone else.
I don't think I did.
Exactly, so you shouldn't speak for the North Korean
So yeah,
people.
apparently, according to some studies, they're actually
That's just
happier
my
than
opinion.
South Koreans.
Your opinion constantly involves talking for somebody else, enforcing your rather Western narratives onto other people in this kind of unipolar sense.
I mean, is it not okay to think sometimes you're more right than others? Like, it's fine. It's just
but
I
you're
don't
not.
think that's the bad thing.
But you are not.
I mean, that's literally how geopolitics works.
So it's not North Korea's fault, even you admitted it.
No, I think they're a fucked up country.
Okay, here, you tell me that it's China's evil because they ally themselves with a bunch of terrorist state. You fail to prove how any of them is
I
actually
mean,
a terrorist
it's
state.
for strategic reason, obviously, because
you
if it
fail
was
to
democratic,
prove
they would
how-
have no influence. Why
you
would you
fail
not
to
have
prove-
influence?
You fail to prove how
If
any of
America could take over and have influence on North
Terrorist
Korea, they
state.
would do it too. Honestly,
So
but they're not.
Okay, fine. Even according to your own definition, America is no better than China. This quote unquote.
But it's
fall off China, which
hypothetical.
doesn't even exist
We're
in the
not
first
allied
place.
with North Korea now, are we?
And who are you allied with? Yes, government of Iraq. Let's see how that's going for them. Or the government of Libya. Let's
We're
see how
not
that's
really
going for them.
allied with Iraq, dude.
Or Saudi
They
Arabia.
don't really like us, man.
but you're still allied with the government, stealing oil. You know,
Iraq
this
has
is
too
the
many
thing. This is the
Iran
thing. This is
influence.
the thing. This is the
There's
thing,
there's
right?
someone who's Korean who wants to come in. Is that all right?
Is he
Yeah.
North Korean or South Korean? Please, dude, I need some help here, man.
I don't know, but he wants to come.
This is like a fucking.
All right, I'm gonna
3-1,
bring him in.
dude.
There you go.
Oh shit, this guy. He's a communist.
Salt. Salt. Can't hear you.
I think he's charging up. He's charging up his energy.
Dude, what is this? This shit is so rigged, bro. It's like 41 out here,
All right,
bro.
bring one of your friends. You can bring one of your friends. These are people pinging me, asking me to
They
come
have
on.
real jobs right now, dude. They're working.
Okay.
Actually, it's
JNR
night
with
in
the
the
5.
States.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, JNR. Thanks, JNR. Salty, your mic's not working. I don't know what's going on. There's someone else who wants to join. Salt, your mic's not working.
I mean, I've come to the conclusion that different systems work for different types of people.
I can
Yeah,
Now you
agree.
I
understand
think that's fine.
multipolarity. Now you understand multipolarity.
Thank
Yes,
you, Mao. Appreciate you.
but I still think one is better than others. You know. I mean, do you not? You guys are trying to enforce communism on the United States. You guys are the 1%, actually.
No, actually, this is the thing. We believe.
I don't know if that's true that we're trying to
we want a
force
system
it.
that
What
works for the
percentage,
U.S.
guys? Let me know.
We want a system that works for the U.S. A type of socialism with American characteristics. You know, we're trying to fix the failures of American capitalism by its negation. We're not trying to force any model of socialism onto America. We're trying to find our own unique path.
Yeah.
And we know that American capitalism is failing as of current.
I just don't agree with any government that jails dissidents. They're scared about
The
people
US
talking
does
shit
that.
about them. That's such a pussy move, dude.
The US
And
does that.
the U.S. does
So
that.
every country does it. So
They
what's
have
your
like
point?
what, one person?
Oh,
There's
really? You want to check the Cold War? You want to check the CIA?
Cold
Actually,
War? What? They
let me
jailed
tell you an
Russians?
interesting fact. Let me
Like,
tell you an interesting fact, okay? There are more people in jail in the US than in China. Yet there are significantly more people in China than the US.
Yeah.
So the prison per capita in the US is significantly higher. The
Okay,
thing
that's more of a
There's
culture
like
thing,
it's like what he's trying to say is, so China has 1.4 billion people. We have only 300 million, and we have way more people in jail than China does.
maybe Chinese system could work here.
he gets it.
But what, are we gonna get free speech out when you guys come here?
I don't want to eliminate the freedom of speech. I don't think there's a reason to eliminate it.
Do communists believe in guns? Do they believe in guns?
Arms the proletariat.
Yep.
Listen,
We do.
China have significantly more freedom to arm yourself than the US until it went horribly wrong, okay? Like, again, China was through a lot of pain that lead to the current gun ban. But before that, there's way more freedom to own arms in China than the US. You can literally own like the Chinese AK, or you can literally own cannons and landmines, which was all used in the Cultural Revolution that killed a lot of people. That's beside the fact.
Well,
The point here being-
usually in how it works in communist states, from what I am told, is that because they're from Eastern countries, that they have villages, and the village has a militia where there's just a ton of guns, and you can use these guns.
Why doesn't that happen in China right now? Why don't they arm them?
They do. The local villages have militias that have guns.
large
militia
militia everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if households may. I think households do have hunting guns.
No,
Right?
Yeah, they still have hunting
only
guns
in
too.
Northeast they have guns.
Well, you can
Okay.
you can shoot guns in China. You can shoot guns. You can have guns.
Yeah, I've shot a gun in China before.
The gun story of
I've gone to the shooting range.
the history of gun ownership in China is a very complex issue that is up to them, and the current model works best for them. But before that, they were very pro-gun, and it was not working, which is why they're more strict now, you know. But that can change in the future too. It's a matter of dialectics. It's a matter of progression. Times change.
Yeah, and also because in the past, villages would go into like mini wars against each other over like territory and stuff like that. It was a huge problem for the local and central government. So eventually they had to like peel that back. So in case you didn't know that, you know,
I'm just saying this show would not exist in China.
Well, it doesn't need to. I mean, this shows.
Okay, fine. American characteristics. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Is that all, or
Is that it?
Yep, not much, man. I just
Alright.
don't. I mean, I think it's just a pussy move to jail people.
I'm
Like, it's
telling
like,
every
why are you
single
scared of people
every
disagreeing,
single
dude?
government
Like,
does it.
chill.
What is
You're
your
just
point?
super insecure.
Here.
Why are you
You're just
making
scared. You're a pussy.
If you
You can't
disagree
get
with
It, it's
votes
it's
or
politics,
some
it's not
shit.
that we want to jail people for saying things. It's that oftentimes when you say things
At
in
least
public, you are doing it for a reason, and there's consequences in China, right? Like, it's like no one just says anything without any intent of action, right? If you're saying, for example, in China, like,
you
oh
guys have
fuck,
like daddy issues or some shit. Like, bruh.
this insult is quite
look,
criminal.
if you're saying in China, for example, oh fuck the government, that implies an express intent to do something about it, right? So you're not just saying things for the sake of saying things. Now, here in the US, we do have a culture of just saying shit to just see what happens or just for its own sake. But in China and other Eastern countries, when you say something, there's a level of express intent and practical implications that are behind what you're saying. Which it's like if you walk into a bar and you just start, you find the biggest guy in the bar and you just go, hey, you're a pussy. I mean, there's going to be consequences, right? Because there's an intent behind saying that. You can't just
Not
say
in
whatever you want.
America. Like,
Yeah,
you'll
in
get
America,
canceled,
you
but
will
you
get
don't
your
go to
ass
jail.
you will get your ass whooped. And the
And
reason
That's not going to
why
jail.
is because that guy's going to assume that you're trying to enter into conflict with him, right? He's not going to treat you as just like, oh, you said something that I don't want you to say. He's saying, oh, what is the meaning of what you're saying, right? All
And
words
getting beat up is for 5 minutes. Going to jail is for years.
Okay. To be
Well,
for a
do
second,
you think that people in China are sentenced to like very long sentences in prison just for saying things?
I mean, not only will they be sentenced in prison, they'll get watched by the secret police and everything.
Well, hold on. As far as being
They'll just get
watched, I
followed
don't know
every
if you've ever
day,
heard
you
of
know.
Edward Snowden, and that's the tip of the iceberg, but I am being watched right now, believe it or not. Like, I am actually being watched by the US
I
government.
would not want to associate with you at all then.
you're
Well,
being
That's
watched
not
I,
good
too,
for
I, I
me.
am being watched by the US government.
and you're being
100%.
watched too. So that's a little tip for you.
Criminal literally watches everyone.
It's okay. They're on my
Okay.
side. So I'm not scared.
Okay, so what is your point about like, oh, it's a pussy move to jail to send?
Hold on,
Like,
That's
I
my
have something to
point,
say.
man. That's just my
Disagreeing.
opinion.
This is what
so
disagreeing looks.
every country, every government is a pussy, right? That's basically what you're saying.
Here, let me make a
And
point.
what? What
Because I'm
government is a
telling you,
pussy?
every single country, every single government arrests dissent. It doesn't matter what political system it is, they all do it.
U.S. arrests. Okay, maybe U.S. arrests some, but it's 100 million times less.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Because
At
last
least,
time I
at least the United States is transparent. Communism,
Wait, what do
the
you
socialism,
US
mean
is
It's
transparent.
transparent? We
transparent.
we only know the
policies
things that
are
we
not
do.
transparent.
We only know the things we do because of whistleblowers who were facing charges by the U.S. government. So I don't know what you're talking about. Transparent.
Yeah, at least you
Please,
know there's
let me
charges
say
being
something. Let me say
filed.
something, please. Okay, here. Disagree in China would look like this. Okay, you write up the policy you want change, then you gather opinions, and then eventually we're going to have public referendums. We're going to pass this through the Congress, and this is how everything goes in China. It's about specific policies, it's about specific
Okay,
issues, which is
sure.
why shit get done in China.
Agree.
But disagreeing here in the U.S., nothing gets done. You have forced the vote, that went to nowhere. People want to force healthcare, that went to nowhere. Disagreeing in the U.S. does not actually get the society to anywhere at all. It's not
Because it's
progressive.
pretty divided. It's 51-49, you know?
You know why it's divided? It's intentional.
I mean,
It's
it's just how
intentional.
it is over here.
Exactly, and it's failing,
That's
which is why we're going to
how
need socialism for American characteristics.
that's our American characteristic.
Exactly, that is. Which is why we
Yeah, the
have
American
to.
characteristic
I don't think
is
that's a
up to
failure.
the Americans.
I see that as a perfect example of democracy.
So you believe democracy is failing,
I believe
and that's good.
democracy can sow division.
How?
Hasn't worked so far. So
And it's getting
I
worse
mean,
and
I
worse
think in
day
the
by
United
day.
States it's doing great.
Well, that's just what you think.
Yeah,
You need
because
historical revisionism to justify your failure.
I
You need
respect what you
reality
guys think.
revisionism to
It's
justify
the difference is you
ideology.
guys don't respect what I think. That's
Why
fine,
would
man.
I? Why would I when you're wrong? Why would I respect a flat earther? That's what you are.
But didn't you just say that different systems work in different places for
And
different
it's not
types
working
of
for the
people?
U.S., which is why we need change. The system in the U.S. is a failing,
I
which
think
is why we
U.S.
need to
is
change
doing
it.
great. I think it's
That's what you
great.
think. That's what
I
you
think
think.
it's
That's what you
fine.
think. And it's wrong.
And that's what you think.
Okay, so you're going back to this whole again, truth doesn't matter, and it's just this whole interpretation.
Yeah. I mean, we're
This
entitled
this,
to our own opinions, right?
this hurts my head really.
I mean,
You
I say
go to
America's
the
doing great, so
sir, please
you can
go
think different.
go
It's
to the
fine.
Rust Belt, and you tell them you're all living great lives, and there's nothing that you need to change. American politics is working great for you.
I
You
mean, they're
tell
gonna
them
have a
that
lot to say,
you tell them
Everybody
that they're
has a
gonna
lot
beat the
to
shit
say
out of you. You tell
in
them
the
that they're gonna
U.S.
beat the shit out of you. You tell them that they're gonna beat the shit out of you. Why? Because you're
No, they
thinking of
won't.
somebody else. You're dreaming. The problem with you is that you're dreaming.
Sure.
Your entire worldview is built up upon biased dreams, and you use this biased dream to annoy people. That's all you are.
I mean, I think United States is the greatest country, at least for now.
And
But
while we're
you're just
at it,
mad.
why is it that
You're just
half the
mad the
country?
system does not work for you.
Why is it
Stay
that
mad,
half the
dude.
country? Why is it half
I'm
the
not
country?
mad.
Why is it that half the country say, "Let's go, Brandon"? Why? Why is it that half of the nation of the U.S. are constantly
Brandon?
screaming, "Let's go, Brandon"?
Who's that? Brandon?
Let's go, Brandon.
Brandon?
Yes, Brandon.
do you
What's
seriously
up?
not know what that slogan is?
No, I don't.
Oh my god.
Let's go, Brandon.
Brandon. Yes,
Bruh.
that's the
Y'all
thing.
funny, man. Y'all funny. I gotta give you guys that, man.
When half the nation disagrees with the current president, how the fuck is the system working? How?
I mean, maybe one day there'll be a president where there's a 90% vote. I mean, it's dependent on what the people think.
But right now it's like less than 40. It's
Yeah,
failing.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
failing. It's objectively failing, even by
For
the
you
standard of
it
the
is.
US.
For me, I
Even
think
by
it's
the standard of
fine.
the US. By the standard of the US, it's failing. By the standard of me, it's failing. By the standard of
You
other
think
countries,
it's
it's
failing?
failing.
I don't think
By the standard
so.
of most
So,
US people, it's
sure.
failing. But by you, it's
You're
not.
saying what you think
So
is
you're
a
saying
fact.
that, so what you're saying is
What
that
for you, everything you think is a fact.
no, for you, right?
Everybody can think differently, dude.
You're not
Dude,
entitled to think for the US people.
isn't it kind of ironic that
Yeah,
you
okay,
think
thought
the US
police.
ecosystem is working so well when every single president has below 50%, approval rating once they get into office, and it's only when they start a
Dude,
war it gets above
there's only
50.
division in America during fucking elections. After that, everybody goes back to work, dude. It's fine.
Then why is their approval rating consistently lower than 50%? And it's only when they start a war it goes above 50%.
That's for every country.
No,
Dictators, government, they love starting
no, it's
wars to
not.
unite the people.
Let's
That's how it works.
war, eh?
China will start a
Never.
war soon. They will start one soon. It's because they
So
lost
you're
World
back
War
to the fantasy
II.
world again. You're escaping back to your fantasy world again. Get the fuck back in the real world, sir. Get the fuck
Yeah,
back here. Get
China's
the
gonna
fuck
start a
back here in
war
the real
soon. They're
world.
gonna start a war soon.
You're living your fantasy world. How dare you talk
Their
about our world when you're
self-esteem is
talking
too
your
low
fantasy
because
when
they
you're
got
talking about your fantasy
humiliated
world.
in World War II by the
You're
Japs.
in your fantasy world. You don't get to talk about our real world. You don't get
Sure,
to.
man.
You
Sure,
don't
dude.
get to.
Sure, dude.
Look, China hasn't started a war right now, and they still have a pretty high approval rating. It's above 80%. So,
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I mean, I don't think that approval rating means a country is better.
Okay, sure. So what's your point? I thought you
I
said
didn't
that.
make any
Oh,
point. You were the ones making points.
no, but you were the one who's saying that. Oh,
I love how we always like talk about certain points, and then you're like, "Oh, what's your point?" Like, cool, dude.
yeah, because the things that you say don't lead to anywhere.
I'm not gonna start a revolution in China. I'm just trying to make my point,
And your point is
and you're
invalid.
just disagreeing
Yeah.
with you. I mean, I
Your
don't see
disagreement
why
is
it's so
invalid.
hard
The end.
to.
Is that you just don't like the
I don't
Communist
see
Party?
why it's
You
so
haven't
hard to
given
have
a
two
reason.
opposing views.
Think
You
that
may
is
think
bad.
one view is better, but like another may think the other is better.
Yeah, but you haven't provided a reason. You just say that you don't like the Communist Party.
I mean,
That's all
I
you
say
say.
the reason is America is doing great, and then you don't
How is
think
that
so,
related
and
to
we can
China
disagree. Like,
specifically?
cool.
You're telling me that the Communist Party isn't good for China, but
Like
you
you
haven't
all
provided a
are not
reason.
in China. You guys live in Western countries. Like you guys are
And you
reaping
live
the
in your
benefits.
dream world. And you live in your dream world.
Yeah, cool. You're not even in China.
No,
I'm closer to
no, you're
China
not
than
even in
you are.
reality. You're not even in reality. You're in your dream
You're just
world,
a fake
sir.
Chinese who
You,
is insecure about their Asian
you are a
identity,
fake
and you
person.
want to try to be
You're living
Chinese.
your dream world.
Like,
No, 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 no.
god
You're a
damn,
fake
bro.
person. You're living your dream world.
Cool.
Exactly. See, the whole thing is you can
Yes, and
keep on
insulting
living your
people
dream. You can keep on living your dream all you
will
want,
win
right?
you
But
arguments.
the thing is, despite the fact that most people in real life would disagree with you, right? You still believe you're entitled to your ideas and that they're so profound, even though they have no basis in
I mean, I
reality.
think a lot of people would
So the
agree
thing
with
is,
me, dude.
your
Haas,
entire
this
problem,
shit is not
the
even
entire
close.
problem of you is that you are living your fantasy world and you need to get back here. You know,
I
you need to
think
get
you
back to
live
the
in a
reality.
fantasy world too.
But
See,
you're not in reality.
we
You're
have
just
difference in
dreaming, and the
opinions.
more you dream, the more you think yourself so
I
high
think you're
above
dreaming.
everybody else. You know, you're stuck in
I think you're
idealism.
dreaming.
That's
I
what only
think you
Marxists
think
call
you're also
idealism.
higher than other people too.
Okay, no, I don't see
Sure.
myself higher than other people. I see myself higher than you.
Okay, I see myself higher than you too.
But that isn't valid.
You're not valid.
That's not valid. That's not valid.
You're not valid.
You're making everything to point of interpretation. So you're saying that there can be no truth, which means that nothing we say have any legitimate meaning. You know, we should not be talking to each other at all. In fact, we should just go head off and do our own little things. And it's just everything is up to interpretation. There is no science. There's nothing we are chasing after. Life has no
Well,
meaning.
my
Nothing have
truth
any.
is, I think
Like the thing is,
democracy, liberal
your entire
democracy,
idea is based on this
with
more
capitalism
nihilistic
works
version
better.
of the
That's my
interpretation
truth.
of the world.
I mean, and you don't see it as truth. That's fine. That's why you say you have no truth.
Like you
That's
believe
cool.
everything is an
Cool, dude.
interpretation, which is why you think there
And
is
then
no
you
truth. But
start
that's
saying,
not
"Oh,
the case. But
you're in
that's
a
not the
fantasy.
case.
You're
But
in a
that's not the
fantasy."
case.
Cool,
That's the
man.
case.
That's
But that's not
that's
the
what you
case. That's not
say
the
when
case. That's
people
not the
disagree
case.
with you. That's just how it is.
No, no, no.
When people disagree
There are
with
much
you,
more
you say,
profound and
"Yo,
smart people that
what you're
disagree with me
thinking
than
is
you are, sir.
wrong." But
There are much more profound and smart people that disagree with me than you are, sir. You have your specific problems, that of which you're an idealist. You live in this weird fantasy world, and you need to be dragged back into reality by somebody.
no, I live
Now,
in reality, dude. I probably
obviously, we're
make
not
more money
capable.
than you. I
Obviously, we're
work
not
the
capable of
system
dragging you back
better
to
than you,
reality due
dude.
to how deep you are
I'm
in the
winning
rabbit
right
hole.
now.
You
You're
know, you're like an
losing.
Iron
You're the
Man.
one raging on
Ah,
the
yes, you're
Twitch
winning. See,
because
the
someone
thing is,
disagrees with you. You're the
no,
revolutionist. I'm the
Jacob,
system,
you're
dude.
saying
You're losing. You're losing. That's why you're so mad.
you're fantasizing about winning now.
Cool. Sure, you can say that. Sure,
You're
I'm
fantasizing
fantasizing.
about winning now.
You guys
You're
can't. You just
fantasizing
can't
about
believe.
winning now. You're fantasizing about winning now, sir. The
Okay,
thing is, you can't stop fantasizing. That's your
I'm winning
problem.
the system,
You
dude.
cannot
You're
stop
losing it.
fantasizing. You cannot stop fantasizing.
Okay, why don't you just move back to China then? That system
Why
works
do
for
you
you.
move
Go
back to
back.
reality then? Why do you move back to reality then?
I am in reality.
How are you in reality?
Keep talking. Keep saying you're fake. You're fake. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're
You'll be
stupid. You're
saying the
stupid.
entire time.
That's gonna
That's
win the
what you'll be
argument.
saying the
Keep
entire
going.
time. That is what you'll be saying
I'm
the
actually
entire
not
fucking
biased, dude.
time.
I'm
You're
actually
not
trying to be
biased. That's a
fair to
bias even
you.
itself. Saying you're not biased
You're
is
just
bias
mad. Stay
even
mad,
itself. You
bro.
see that?
Stay
You see a
cool.
problem
Stay
here.
mad, bro. Stay mad.
Oh,
Stay in
okay.
Canada or US. You're in Canada. Where are you? Where are
Anybody
you
would
right
be
now?
mad when they talk to an
You're not in
idiot like
China.
you.
Fuck out of here.
Anybody would be mad when they're talking to an idiot like you, sir. It's not
Okay,
my
sure.
problem. It's your
Sure,
problem.
dude. Stay mad. Stay mad.
This is like a cool.
Dark, thank you so much, Dark.
Stay
Appreciate you.
mad. Stay mad.
Appreciate you.
Stay poor. Your thought is the 1%, man.
So, are you rich?
You're saying where there's 40% approval rate. That's still more than you communists in America.
Yeah, but I don't think
Sorry.
Americans know anything about communism.
Okay, that's true. You can educate them about this, but they're actually I don't know. Maybe it's doable.
And that's the point. There used to be massive communist party in the USA, and it is to appeal to these people that got FDR into office. If he didn't appeal to the mass communist party in the USA, he wouldn't be in office.
If communism wins in the
This is the
United
thing.
States, then so be it. Like
Exactly.
I'm fine with people. If more people think that way, then that's fine.
So stay fine, and wait until that day comes. And before that day comes, you don't get to judge
But
it.
too bad. That's not how you're gonna be dead by the time there's communism in the United States. Stay mad.
Yes. You believe that
Yeah.
your prediction of the future is completely correct.
Yes. Remind
what?
me in fucking 80 years.
Yes, what? Did a tarot card tell you that or something? Well, you
At the end of the day, I'm the
You- you-
I'm the
you-
All right,
fuck-
where
I'm
where
using
where
the
is this
system.
headed? Where is
I'm
this now
using the
headed?
system
Wait, hold on,
against
hold on.
my will, and
Hold on,
you're
hold on,
just
hold on,
a
please,
mad and poor.
But you're just like predicting things now. What you like think about a Ouija board at a spirit Halloween store or something, and you're like, oh, Ouija board, man, tell me when is communism gonna come to America? More than 100 years later, like what the fuck?
You're
You
so
don't-
funny, dude.
You don't get
You're
to
so
talk
funny.
about where reality is headed, sir. You don't get
So
to.
funny, dude.
It does not need to match your ideals. It does not need to match your imagination. It doesn't need to. Reality is reality. You stay in reality or you fuck the fuck off. If you don't want to stay in this reality anymore, you are free to. Well,
I'm in reality. I'm the one winning.
you're the one
Sorry.
winning what?
What are you winning?
You're the one trying to start the revolution. You're the one that nobody agrees
Soy
with.
Award of 2021. Yes, you did win the Soy
Your
Award of
country that
2021.
you live in right now, nobody agrees with you, dude. They're gonna think you're crazy.
Sure.
That's not
That's
winning,
the thing.
dude.
It's right now.
When you go
It's
back
right
to
now,
China,
right?
you're winning. You're not in China right now. You're just mad in fucking Canada.
Most people in my country, in Canada, right? They would agree that this nation needs to be changed, just like me. They would believe they
Okay,
would
but
agree
they're
with
not
me that we need
communists, so I'm
change. We
sorry.
need change. They would agree with me on every specific policy, that of which I bring up. The thing is, you're seeing communism as this abstract thing. It is not.
They're not. That's what you think. You're just saying like, oh, everybody agrees what I think. Cool. Wow.
No, but they
Sure,
literally
sure they
do.
do.
Our
Sure
specific
they do.
political, our specific
You're the
policies,
one with the head up in your ass, dude.
Our specific policies.
Not me.
Every Canadian would agree with our party, with me, with us. That's the thing. All of our policies, that of which we suggest, that of which is in our program, is built in the people. Unlike the policies that are unpopular with the people, that's currently being shoved up their ass by the fucking establishment. That's the difference here. They might not agree with our essence, that of which is communism.
Well, I'm gonna join the establishment. You mad, bro?
How are you gonna join the establishment?
They're
By
riding on
becoming
your fucking.
successful.
You're gonna.
Money is power, right? I believe in the dollar bill. I'm sorry that you don't, because you don't have any.
You're gonna. Okay. Come back
Stay
here when you're
mad,
successful.
bro.
Come
That's
back here
it.
when you're successful. Come back here when you're successful. Come back here when you're
Okay,
successful.
yeah, sure.
Like,
I'm
fuck off.
definitely
and
make
come
more
back when
money
you're
than
successful.
you.
No, fuck off and come back when you're successful, sir. All right.
Dude, this kid is a privileged kid from China. Like,
Privilege. I'm so
that
privileged, everybody.
most
How
Chinese, your
wait,
international
buddy.
students are all rich.
How about I tell you about the last job I worked at?
You don't work for the people. You're not socialistic.
No.
Donate all your money, dude. Donate all your money, dude.
Shut the fuck up.
Help
Shut
the
up.
poor people, the
Here.
villagers in China.
Please, listen to me. If you think I'm so privileged, can I tell you the story of my last job, please? All right. I work 14-hour shifts in my last job, all right? There are people constantly coming to fuck up our workplace, right? So most of them are like on drugs or some shit, right? I had to chase them away, I had to be constantly on patrol in
Dude,
the workplace.
it's because
okay?
you're fucking antisocial, probably. You just hate
And wait, hold on. Let me finish, right? And I'm also being paid barely above
You're all
minimum
talk
wage,
online
right?
on Discord, but in real life, you're
But
just
wait,
scared.
hold on. And you're thinking that
You're
somehow
just
this
scared
guy
to
is
talk to
privileged.
people.
This guy is privileged. You're thinking that somehow this guy is privileged. How am I privileged? How the fuck am I working such a shitty job and being privileged at the same time? I'm not.
Because
I'm not
your
privileged.
dad's rich, but you're probably not.
Okay, my dad's rich. How is my dad rich? You're just guessing shit. You're just guessing
How
shit
did
out
you
of
come to
nowhere.
Canada? How did you come to
You know
Canada?
why?
Did you take a
why you're
boat
guessing?
here?
You know why you're guessing shit out of
Are you
nowhere?
fresh
Because you
off
live
the
in a
boat?
fantasy
Are
world.
you fresh
Because you
off
live
the
in a
boat or
fantasy world.
fresh off of
The
first
only
class?
way you can justify yourself is with
Fucking
your fantasy. The
747.
only way you can justify yourself is with
You
your
ain't fresh
fantasy.
off the
The
boat,
only
bro.
way you can justify yourself is with your fantasy.
You're fresh
You
off China
justify
Airlines,
your
bro.
ideals with your fantasy. You justify your ideals with your fantasy.
You bought a
Like you're only
$1,000,
coping with your
$2,000
fantasy. You're
ticket
coping
to
with your
come here, dude.
fantasy.
We didn't fucking swim
Stop,
here,
stop,
dude.
stop, stop, stop. Your fantasy doesn't matter. Reality matters. Your fantasy doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're
Keep
losing
that aside.
reality. You're losing. That's why you're
Reality,
mad.
what?
That's why your job is shit. That's why you hate capitalism. So that you need people to blame. That's why you blame the system.
So are
Stay
you winning?
mad, bro.
Are you winning? Are you winning?
I make more money than you. I think it's fine. I'm definitely
So
winning. And most
you're
people in
you're the
Canada and US
So
agrees
you
with
are
me,
the
not
privileged
you.
one. So you're the privileged one. You're the privileged one telling the proletariat how they should behave and protect capitalism. You're the privileged one telling the
See,
proletariat how they
this
should
is so
behave
typical.
and protect
Oh, just because
capitalism.
you're rich, you can't have a say in things. Like, cool,
No.
whatever.
You're telling
I'm
us that
not
we should be
scared.
fine
I'm
with the
not scared,
system.
dude.
You're telling
Oh,
us
so
that
you're
we should be
saying if
fine
I'm
with the system because
poor,
you're
people
privileged.
should listen to me more just because I'm poor.
You're saying that we should be fine with the system because you're privileged. No, fuck off.
See, this is at the end of the day, they're just gonna say you're privileged, so you don't have a say in anything. Dude, you're privileged too. Shut the fuck up. Stop pretending to be
Listen.
poor.
Okay.
You're so fake, dude.
Oh, I'm pretending to be poor now. You are still living in your
Yes,
fantasy. So
you're not.
so you being the privileged fuck you are, with your
You just have a
fantasies telling
shitty
that
job.
us should not revolt against the current system, fucking everybody over. You are so detached from the poor. You're so detached from reality. You're so detached from proletariat, right? That you're just like you dream up a world where everything is fine to protect your own privilege. You
You
admitted
can
it.
become rich.
You admitted
Everybody
it.
can become
You
rich,
admitted it.
man.
You're more likely to become poor than
It's
become
hard
rich.
for you. Doesn't mean it's hard for other people. Like,
Statistically speaking,
just
you're more likely to become broke
maybe
than
go to
become
school.
rich.
I don't know. Take a loan out.
And oh, by the way, talking about
You
becoming
know how
rich.
loans work? Maybe we have Google now. Everybody
Hold
can
on.
Google
Talking
things
about
and
becoming
learn.
rich, right? You're more likely to become rich and successful if you're in China than you're in the US. So if anything, it's the system of the Chinese that gives you more opportunity.
I think there's more opportunities in the US.
How?
Sorry.
How? You're more likely to become broke in the US, statistically speaking. How?
What was that?
You're more likely to become broke in the US, statistically speaking. Student loans are infinitely more expensive, not infinitely, but significantly more expensive in the US than China.
I mean, that's how capitalism works. Capitalism rewards the people who make money. Like, dude, you're just mad. Like,
so you're saying that we shouldn't be mad when the system fucks us over. When the system fucks the
fuck you
majority of the people over.
because it's
When
your
the system
fault.
fucks the majority of the
Don't
people
blame the
over, you're saying
system.
we should
It's
be
your
mad.
fault, man. It's your fault. You're a loser.
Oh, yes. It's every
the
single
system.
proletariat's fault in the world. It's
Keep
the African
trying,
children's
dude.
fault that they're
You're
starving.
mad.
Yo. It's the
You're
African
mad
children's
that
fault that they're starving. It's the
you
African
lost.
children's fault that they're starving.
That's why you blame.
It's the
You have to
African
find
children's
people to
fault that they're
blame.
starving.
You
No,
live in
stop.
a first world country, dude.
Stop.
Holy shit! Isn't that the definition of privilege?
So
What? So it's the Californian people's fault that they're living on the street. It's the African people's fault that they're starving. It's it's not your
No,
fault.
I didn't
It's
say
not
that.
the system's fault. The system's fine. The system's perfectly fine. It's
Yeah.
every single individual in the entire world's fault.
dude,
I
are you
don't see
serious?
it's anybody's fault. I'm not blaming anybody. You're the one
No,
blaming
the
people.
system
You're
is
the one
fine. We
mad.
need to improve ourselves.
You're the one that's mad, dude.
Dude, are you
You're the
really
one
gonna
crying.
are
And
you really gonna say
you're
that to
also not
All
admitting that
right,
you beat the
this
system. You're
guys,
also not
we have to
admitting
get to
that
a
you're
point.
rich.
We have to get to a
Bad.
point. We have to get to a
I'm
point.
pretty sure you said you lost in the system.
look. So you're basically arguing it's people's own fault, right? If they don't succeed in capitalism or whatever, right? That's the general idea.
But we can uplift people. We can do things that help people.
That's what China
We can
does.
enact policies that help people.
That's what China
We can
does.
spend money to help people.
That's what
Yet
China
the
does.
government's putting that. So yet the
The
government's going
U.S.
in the
also
opposite
has
direction.
that too. It's called voting for policies. We can vote for these policies.
That
If people
went
don't
nowhere.
agree, then
That went
the
nowhere.
policy fails.
First of all,
It's all about
failed, even though it
percentages,
has
right?
popular
It's all about
support.
agreement and
First
voting.
of all, failed when it had popular support. First of all, failed when it had popular
Okay,
support.
popular. Yeah, sorry, you're a
Why? You know why?
communist in
Because the
America.
system.
I'm sorry,
Because the
dude.
system. No,
Sorry
there's
that
nothing.
America and Canada
Okay.
doesn't work for you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hold on.
You want me to apologize? Like,
Hold on a second.
So one of the issues that I'm consistently seeing is that
Let me apologize for you because
you
the
don't
system that I like
really
and
Hold
seem
on a second.
hold on.
Hold on a
So
second.
I think the issue here is that you don't really seem to be invested in any position. You just kind of seem like you're sitting on the couch and asking us to make you interested in this, and it's like it's almost like you're not really invested in what you're saying. And when people call you
I
out, you're
believe
just like,
multiple
so
systems can
what?
work. I like both systems. I think it's the system is always growing. It can always be different. In 50 years, America's politics will be different now. It's always going to be changing.
And
It's
we are gonna
okay.
make that change. The point here is we're
Okay,
making
yeah.
that change.
Okay, that's why I like this discussion. You guys can convince me too. I'm not going to be like, fuck you, like what you're saying the whole time. I'm not stupid,
You
dude.
call me privileged. You told me to fuck off back to China, and you're telling me that
You are.
I'm not polite. Oh, okay. You're imagining things out of nowhere, and you're telling me that I'm not polite. Fuck you.
Yeah, sure.
For what? I don't want to engage with your fantasy world. It's bullshit. Wake up.
Yep.
If
You
you
call
wanna
it
dream of-
fantasy.
If you want to dream,
you.
if you want to dream of a better fantasy world, you can go play World of Warcraft or some shit. Okay, but
No, I
reality
live
is
in
not for you.
reality.
Reality
Canada is
for
not
you, bro.
reality for you. China, the few thousand miles is reality for
And
you.
then
You're
again,
not
when
even
I say
living
that
in your
Canada is not
reality.
reality for you, listen to me.
You're not even
When we
living.
are talking about
Gaza
specific
Stream is
policy,
your reality.
when
That's your
we are
fantasy
talking about
world.
a specific policy change, let's say reducing the housing debt or anything like
You
that,
guys
most
are
of the
living
Canadian
in
citizens
Gaza's
would agree
fucking
with us. Most of the
simulation
Canadian
right now.
citizens would agree
You
with
guys
us.
are in
However, they will not agree
Canada,
with you.
US, in a
They will not agree with the
communist
status quo. They
simulation.
will not agree with the elite. They will not agree with those fuckers that want this nation for a simple reason. Because we side with the people. They don't. It is just that we have been propagandized into evil position that people doesn't side with us. However, we side with them. You understand what I'm saying now?
And at least
Every
we don't
policy
have
that we're talking about has
state-sponsored
popular support.
propaganda.
Every policy
But at
that is
least
being
we pay
enacted does
for it.
not. You paid for public, so you pay to get fucked over, and you're so proud of it.
We're not. You're getting fucked over. I never said I'm getting
To get
fucked
fucked
over.
over, and you're
I'm
so
living
proud of it.
good.
Fine,
I'm
fine. You
fine with it,
admitted,
dude. I'm chilling.
that people in
You're the
capitalism
one
are getting
crying.
fucked over. You
You're the
admitted
one
that people in
crying, dude. You've
capitalism
been
getting
crying this
fucked
whole
over.
time.
Oh, okay. Yes. So you don't get to complain about the system because it's just your fault and it's you crying.
Yeah, it's working for me. I'm saying it's good. You're saying it's
So you're
bad.
privileged. So shut the fuck up. You're privileged. Shut the fuck up.
Cool. See, this is all comes to the end. You're privileged, so you don't have a say in things. Okay.
Well, you're
sure.
privileged and you don't care about those who are not privileged, which is the majority of the society that is fucking the side over. And by the way, when the entire society do eventually fail due to most people are
Dude, you took a
underprivileged,
fucking airplane to Canada, dude. You didn't fucking swim here. Shut up, dude.
yes. I take a plane.
You
And I'm so privileged.
immigrated to Canada. You immigrated to Canada, dude.
So what? So I'm privileged. For what?
Why
what?
did you immigrate to a system that doesn't work for you?
Why does it matter? Why does this matter about my opinions? My opinion is based on truth. It's
That's
not
just a
based on
question,
myself.
man.
Again, like
You
you're making
want to
this
answer my
personal. You're making
questions
this
or not?
personal.
Okay.
You're making this personal. But social science is not about personal stuff. You're making it all personal.
It's personal for you, dude. It's not that personal for me.
It's personal for you because you're the one making this
I'm
personal.
chilling.
I never want to make
dude.
it personal. You're coping.
I'm chilling.
You're coping. You're saying
You're
you're
just
chilling
mad.
as a
You're the
cope.
mad one.
Oh, you're mad. I'm coping so hard right now. Listen to me for a second here,
Yep.
okay?
Okay.
The thing is, you're making this personal, but it's not personal. Social science is never personal. You're saying that because I am from China and I immigrated to Canada, my opinion all of a sudden isn't valid. No, that's not how it works. That's not how social science
I did not
works.
say that. Wow. I did
Oh,
not
you did
say
not say
that.
that. What the fuck did you just say then? Huh?
I said you're privileged too.
How?
How about that?
Exactly.
So I'm trying to invalidate what you're saying.
Why does it matter? Why the fuck does it
You're
matter?
just scared to
Why
admit
the
it.
fuck does it matter? Why the fuck does it matter? Tell me.
So why do you say I'm privileged? Why the fuck does that matter then? Why the fuck does that matter?
Because you're saying because you're privileged, your opinions are better than our opinions. You're saying that we're just crying
This
because
guy's going in circles.
the system is
He's
not
just
giving
mad.
you. I'm just mad. You're just coping.
Yep.
You're
Stay
just
mad.
coping. You're just coping. Stay coping.
Yep.
Stay failing. I'm winning. Stay losing.
Yep.
Yep. What?
I love it when people say I'm winning. That's not for you to decide.
But you literally said that a while ago that the reality is you're winning. That's literally what you said.
I mean, in terms of winning the argument, not in life.
What argument?
Life is pretty easy to see.
Buddy, you haven't made a solid
Argument,
position. Can you win?
people disagree. No, everybody in the argument, everybody thinks they're winning.
Okay,
This
then.
is how it is.
Okay, then, like, but the thing is, you haven't made an argument.
What do you mean? I'm saying America is better. The system works better. That's
And
my
you
argument. That's my
don't
opinion.
provide
And
any
So
you
your
say
single
my
entire
opinion and
okay,
your
hold on, hold
opinion's
on.
not matter.
you
Your
don't provide
opinion's
any
wrong.
single
Blah
Your
blah blah blah
position is that we
blah.
should
You're
preserve the
stupid.
status
Your
quo.
opinion's wrong. Like you
Your
guys just
position,
at the end of the argument, that's where it comes to. You
your
guys are just
position is that we
immature.
should
You guys
support the
can't
status quo,
argue. You
right?
guys can't debate.
Your position is
And
that
you
we should
guys can't
support the status
respect
quo, right? Your
people
position is that we
with
should support the
different
status quo, right?
opinions.
You haven't provided a reason. You just said that the US is better, but you don't give any single reason. And then when we go after you on that, you
What do
just
you
say that
mean?
we're
What we've been talking about reasons this whole time, and then we just at the end of the day, it's just disagree.
you spend
Whatever,
most
dude. Like,
you spend most of the
goddamn.
time slandering China. So
That's
like
all.
you spend most of the time slandering about China, and then you made the point that the
Dude,
US is
you probably never even lived in China before, dude. You're even
Dude, you probably never
more
lived in
fake
China
Chinese
before,
than
man. Look
most
at
of
me,
it.
man. Like my personal experience makes me so valid. I
What?
don't know shit about politics. I don't know shit about economy, but I live here. I'm more privileged than you are. My opinion more
Yeah,
valid. No, you're
兄弟，
not.
你确定我没在中国住过？我
对啊，你确定
上海的，
我没在中国住过吗？
上海的。
对啊，
你在中国住过吗？你吗？
你在中国住
住
过吗？
啊，
在哪儿吗？
住年。
啊？
How about you? I probably lived longer in China. Okay, whatever. I don't care about. It's not about measuring
You
dicks
don't
anymore.
care. I don't care anymore. I'm so cool, everybody. I don't care.
So do you admit that you were wrong to
You
say
guys
that
are
we
so
never lived in
immature,
China?
dude.
Oh, I'm so mature, everybody. I call other people immature. That proves my argument.
Yeah, keep talking like that.
I keep talking like that.
It makes you more masculine.
Ah, yes, you are so masculine. You cope the entire time makes you more masculine. Yes, yes, yes. You don't dare face a single point I brought up. That makes you more masculine.
Sure.
Sure, what?
Arguing with you is like talking to a brick wall.
Yes.
So
I'm the wall that you cannot bypass.
you
I will forever
talk-
be here.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
only
your
here, by
head
the
is up
way.
your
You
ass,
cannot
dude.
break me,
You're just
but I'm
So-
gonna break you.
You're just gonna keep disagreeing.
So
What?
bitch, you talked about North Korea being a terrorist state, and I'm
I don't
only
even
here
know
to
why
ask
that's
you.
a fucking argument. The fact that you guys
I'm
are so memeing about this is just
shut the
I
fuck
don't
up,
even want to talk about that. You guys are so
bitch,
stupid,
shut the fuck
dude.
up, shut the fuck. I'm here to ask you.
Nice
What
memes,
makes you
guys.
think
So
that?
based,
What makes you
based,
think
based,
that?
bro. Based.
This guy is,
Why
You're
is
so
North
edgy,
Korea
based.
a terrorist state? Why? What makes you think that?
What? Why are they a terrorist state?
Yeah.
Because they don't care about their people at all.
So
But
America
that
is a terrorist
doesn't
because they don't care about their
constitute it
people.
as a terrorist state.
If your family member fucks up, they're gonna kill your whole family.
Yeah, but
They're gonna kill your whole
not
family.
terrorism.
Well, how is that human rights? In terms
Do
of
you
a human
believe
rights
in
Okay,
perspective,
so
in
it's
the
still human rights
oh
is
wait, I
terrorism.
forgot.
America
do
is
you
Communists
believe in
don't
terrorism.
the
believe
four
in human
generation
rights.
rule?
Oh
Do you
yeah,
believe in
Wait,
you
the
guys
human
are so
rights
in
is
the
not
masculine
four
that you guys
terrorism,
don't
man.
generation?
believe in
Like
human
how
rights.
Stay
four
mad, stay
generations of
mad. You're
families go
mad.
to fucking prisons? Do you
What'd you
know
say? I didn't hear you.
do you believe in the four generation prisons because you mentioned about your whole family going to jail if you supposedly break the law? So do you believe
In
that?
China, your whole family don't go to jail.
But we're talking about
Not like
North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea, yeah, they do. They send you to the labor camps.
No, they
Oh,
don't
but we don't know
send
that. There's no proof.
four generate because number one, if they do, that would basically cripple the economy because the majority, an entire fucking, you know how fucking large four
North Korea has
generation
no
is?
economy,
That would
dude.
cripple the fucking economy.
They don't have an economy. North Korea doesn't have
Oh,
one.
what if now you're just saying like fucking slogans?
Oh,
They don't
wait,
have
Wait,
a
hold
fucking
on, hold on, guys,
economy. They
guys.
don't
Sanctions.
have
I
a
can
Because of the
handle
fucking
this.
sanctions,
economy.
man.
What
Wait,
the fuck
Salty,
does that even mean?
I understand now. I can handle this now, please.
They
You
don't
know,
make any
there's a
products.
very famous defector called Shin Dong-yak who supposedly went to Camp
Okay, North
14,
Korean sympathizer.
and he said
Fuck off.
that his whole fucking family went to jail, but the North Koreans fucking brought his father up, and his father's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not in fucking prison.
Wait, hold on. I
I'm
have an
alive
idea.
and I'm
Hold on.
Oh
fucking
yeah,
well."
hey, get on the phone.
he-
Say you're not in prison, dude.
Wait.
Hey,
Look
yeah,
at him.
life's all good, guys. Hey, family,
He's
I'm totally not
he
in
said
prison, guys.
the fucking myth is that North Korean prisons are deadly. Everyone fucking dies when you go there. You get beaten. You have to be in some sort of cages. He looks fucking normal. If you go into a supposed camps with things like fucking beatings every
You know,
day,
there's
where you have to
different
be fucking
levels of
chained up every
prison,
day,
right?
then he would
There's
be
a nice ones, there's bad ones, there's labor camps, there's different tiers. Okay,
okay.
cool,
So
man.
his dad went to a high tier prison, is what you're
Okay,
saying,
yeah.
because he was
Watches that
unarmed.
one weird
So,
North
so let
Korean show.
me ask you, why would a dad of a defector who's one of the most popular would be sent to a high
Maybe
class
because
jail
he's
rather
most
than a
popular, so they
poor
didn't
shit?
want to fucking beat him up, maybe.
Or
No,
maybe
wait, hold on, hold
for
on.
revenge,
It's
they would send
hypothetical
him
now.
to
Wow.
wash his fucking prison.
So you're just mad because the North Korea have better healthcare than you.
Not really. We have
yes.
better
No,
healthcare.
you're
US
coping.
has the
You're
best
mad.
healthcare.
You're mad. Keep crying.
The
You're mad.
only problem with North Korean healthcare is that there are shortages, which is because of sanctions. North
We have
Korea,
You're mad. You
five-star
have better
healthcare
healthcare
in
than you.
North
You're
Korea,
mad. You're
guys.
mad.
Come here
Stop
for your
crying.
cancer
basic
treatment.
materials
Stop
to
crying.
make
We have the
Stop
best
x-rays.
crying.
stem
Stop
cells
crying. You're mad.
research.
No, you're
We have
mad.
a five-star
Cold.
hotel
You're mad.
with
You're crying. You're mad.
restored
You're crying. You're mad. You're crying. You're mad. You're crying. You're mad. You're crying. You're mad. You're crying.
Five
You're
stars,
mad.
guys.
Stop crying. Stop crying.
Yeah.
Stop coping.
Oh,
They're better
fucking
healthcare than
five
you.
stars.
Stop
Oh,
coping.
You
five
guys
stars
are
is
coping so
ooh,
hard,
five
Stop
man.
coping.
stars.
You're
Ooh,
mad.
You guys are
You're
coping
mad.
so
You're
hard.
mad.
coping.
Stop
Dude, this
coping.
4v1
Stop
is too
coping.
easy,
They're better
man. It's too
healthcare. They have
easy.
better healthcare than
Okay.
you.
You
You're
guys are just crying and being mad.
Okay.
Keep crying. Keep
Okay.
crying.
So
Keep coping. Keep coping. Keep
Hey,
crying.
going back
You're
to
just
I'm
mad
mad.
because they have
the
better
main
healthcare
point.
than you.
So going
They
back to the
don't.
main point, why is North
Oh,
Korea
they
a
don't,
terrorist
they
state?
don't.
You treating your family like being authoritarian doesn't necessarily mean that your
Yeah, you would
government
love
is a
to be a
terrorist state.
dictator, wouldn't you? Huh? If you had that choice, you
Yes,
would
I'll
take it
be
in
a
a heartbeat.
dictator and I'll fuck your mom. That's what I'm going to
Yep,
do as a
sure,
dictator.
sure.
I will make it a law to redistribute your mom from your dad so we can
Dude, I
all
would
fuck
fucking
up.
beat the shit out of you in
Yes.
real life,
Chill,
dude. And
shut
then
the
try to
fuck
beat
up.
out
Alright,
of
we're
you
done,
and
we're
do the
done, we're
same
done,
thing,
we're done, we're
dude.
done, we're done. Shut
What
the fuck up,
fucking
shut the
is this
fuck
for?
up. Shut the fuck up. You're getting banned, you dumb fuck. Yeah, bye. You're done. Fuck out of here. Yeah. Bye, guys. Okay, we're done with that. We're done. We're done with that whole thing. I banned that guy. We're done. I banned him. That's enough of that.